Like, we have to be human beings. Don't come in my life saying, okay, you can't have no female friends. You can't be around this person. Like, I'm a human being. We're meant to be around people, not just men. I just can't have homies, homeboys. I gotta have women in my life.
Yes.
Platonic friends.
Because some men who feel this way about men to women don't feel this way about women having male friends. So how do you feel about that with your partner? Like, are you okay with that?
They can have as many friends as they want, because I don't want that control. I don't want somebody to tell me I can't have friends. Me telling you you can't have a male friend, meaning I don't trust you.
Yes.
Or I'm insecure about our situation.
Yeah.
I'm not insecure. I'm secure. I'm very confident.
But I honestly, and people call me naive for that, I don't believe every person who comes around me wants to fuck me. I believe that there's a natural, innate thing in a man to where it's like you probably gonna have more of a sex drive, but I believe that, like, when I have interactions with people, it depends on the energy that I put off or that I allow. You know what I mean? Like, and to them too. Like, I don't feel like every person that approaches me and that I have a vibe with has sexual energy. I think sometimes it's just like genuine nature. And what I found is, like, with dating people, like, that's like a scapegoat. But it's like I started to feel like it's like a mechanism for insecurity and control. Where it's like every nigga who comes around you wants to fuck you. I'm like, it's not the case. Sometimes they be putting me down on the bullshit you be doing. You just have no idea.
But I can truly have friendships, and it'd be nothing. I don't never even think about it. Like, I got a homegirl, I never, like, she walks around here naked, she be in my bathtub.
Yeah.
I never look at her like that. Not saying that I'm not attracted to it, but I'm not attracted to it like that. Like, I understand, like, what the dynamic is. We just cool.
Yes.
And we just humans. Like, you can be yourself around me. All right, welcome to the Rich and Unemployed podcast, Uncut. I am your host, Jonathan Dubaton, aka Finesse. Before we get started, go ahead and like, subscribe to the channel. Check out the Patreon for all this exclusive behind-the-scenes content. I don't know if I'm gonna post half of this on Patreon, but if it is, go ahead and subscribe. And make sure you cop some merch, www.richunemployed.net. I have a very, very special guest today. I know I say that all the time, but very beautiful lady. Introduce yourself.
I am Mikayla. I do Black Men in Therapy, Miss Big Energy. I have a clothing line called Big Energy brand. I'm here for the motivation and positive vibes. I like conversations, so I'm excited to be here. I appreciate you having me, for sure.
Appreciate you coming.
Thank you.
What is big energy?
Big energy is big love, man. Like, for me, it's this mantra of, like, finding your ultimate peace with whatever that means for you. So doing the things that you love, basking in more love and what you speak into your universe, how you deal with people, like, really just like a positive vibe type thing. Like, when I come around and people see me and it's like big energy, it's like a breath of fresh air, you know? Like, it's not a negative connotation to it. It's just big vibes, big energy, like doing what we love to do.
How did you come up with this?
Honestly, doing my videos. Like, when I first started doing my videos and just, like, I didn't have a goal. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like, it was just more so like therapy. Like, I'm talking what I'm going through right now, and if it can touch a person, like, that's cool. And the more that I started to do it, the more people started to vibe, and then I went live. That's where big energy really came from. Like, I would just be vibing with people on live, talking my talk, and then they start calling me Big Kayla. And then it was like, I was like going out and stuff, and the club would be like, Big Kayla's, big energy in the building, and then that's kind of just grew on me. Then from there, it was like all the people I would sit down and, like, have conversations with, you know, on my lives and stuff, and, like, I kind of got more in the mix on that type of stuff. People just started, you know, it just started growing on me. It started growing on me. You know, when you see Kayla or when you think about Kayla, like, it's big energy. It's positivity. She's going to speak life into it. She's going to listen to you and give you great advice. Like, that's kind of where it came from.
Have you always been this way?
No, not at all. I can't say I've always been this peaceful. I think I've always had, like, that light in me, but I was always so shy. I was always so taken back. So I was in more like an observation phase when I was younger. I would just be, you know, doing my Leo stuff, sitting back and listening. And
you ain't a Leo.
I know, but I was on my Leo stuff back then. Then I kind of like came out my shell more when I was doing my video. They really helped me grow, like communication wise. Like I think doing the lives and like interacting with people, you start to get different perspective when you listen to how people deal with things, and then you realize like it's not always the wrong thing to be selfish, but we are very selfish with how we perceive the world and how we respond to things, like especially if it's an immediate response. And sometimes it's so powerful to just sit back and be like, you know what, I'm gonna give that some time to process. Like I start telling people when I talk to them, I'll be like, you know what, I heard everything you said. I haven't had time to process it though, so I'm gonna process it before I respond. And I feel like that warranted me to miss out on so many negative interactions because it was just honest. Like I'd rather not give you a faulty response that I might think about later and be like, damn, I could have said that better, or I probably was taking this in more of an emotional tone. I'm a Cancer, so like, you know, I said I ain't no crybaby. But we're supposed to be crybabies though. So I think that was like a big thing I wanted to do with a person. I ain't want to just be overly emotional and not think with logic or respond with logic.
How were you before this though? Like, were you just a negative, mean?
I've never been negative. I'm not gonna lie. Like I've always been the person to like try to see the silver lining. I didn't know how to like utilize that to impact people's lives, if that makes sense. So I wasn't really very vocal about it. So you probably wouldn't really know what I was thinking. I was just kind of more taken back. Like my mom was always, she's an Aries. She's way more like loud and outgoing and stuff. So I kind of always basked in that. You know what I mean? But once I really like Atlanta and being down here by myself and like transitioning into like when I came down here, I ain't gonna lie, I got pregnant pretty fast. Probably like 4 months in. So being a mom and like doing all of that away from family, like it kind of forces you to grow up. You know, I'm the oldest of 5 younger brothers and sisters, so I kind of already had that about me. But doing that away, like having a kid away from everybody and like being out of state and stuff and kind of like seeking the counsel, it kind of made me have to learn to trust my own judgment.
What year did you get pregnant?
2015.
7.
Yep, 2015. It was one of the craziest things I've ever done because it had happened so fast. Like it was kind of unexpected. Like I was supposed to be the rich auntie. Everybody knew that about me, and nobody ever thought I was gonna have a kid because I raised kids growing up. So I had always said like, nah, that ain't gonna be me. And then it happened. My mom was so shocked when I called her and told her that I was pregnant. She was like, you are not the kid who I thought was even gonna be doing all that. But I was. Best thing that ever happened to me though, she definitely made me grow up like emotionally. She's a huge like driving force behind me getting my shit together emotionally for sure. Cause I'm like, I just don't want to be like when you have a kid and then you separate and you have all these ideas about how you're gonna raise this kid in this 2-parent household and you're gonna do things differently, and then that doesn't happen that way, and crush your spirit, like for sure. I definitely knew like I was about to be married and in the house in Georgia, like living my best life with my daughter and her father, and that's not what happened. So I had to quickly like get back into that adjustment mode of like, okay, cool, so what are you gonna define yourself as now? Like
what happened? Like okay, if you had this dream or you had this vision of like what it was gonna be, like did the child come in between y'all living out this?
Number one, we had a baby so fast. So, like, we had this dope vibe. Like,
in 4 months?
Yeah. Like, I mean, I had known him before then. You know, we worked together. So, we had this dope, like, friend vibe, you know. And then we hadn't really all the way entered into, like, a true relationship vibe. And then I got pregnant. So, it was kind of like I feel like we rushed it. And so trying to be responsible and like, okay, cool, you know, we're gonna have this baby, turned into like the responsibility overtook the whole idea of like really developing a relationship. So a lot of the things that, you know, I mean, like really I would say the 4 months of prior to me getting pregnant was like more like relationship, serious dating based. That's not enough time to get to know a person, you know? And my daughter's father, he's 10 years older than me. So that was kind of like a dynamic in there too. Is like, not only did we rush into this, but you're also older than me. So there's like a certain element of like, I want to control the situation. And he's a Taurus and I'm a Cancer. Tauruses are very like controlling, just to say it least. They're very controlling. So I think all of that played into, like, I was young. You know, when I had my daughter, I was 20. So I was young. I was still in school. Like, there's a lot of things I think that played into how we fell apart in the long term, because we just didn't give ourselves enough time, really. I think that would probably be the main thing. Not enough time to grow into each other, grow into parenthood. Like, it was kind of like pressure. As soon as I found out I was pregnant, I worked until I was like 38 weeks. Like,
I noticed that you don't say baby daddy.
I just feel like it's ghetto. That's my child's father. If he was a baby dad, for me, that's like sperm donor. Like, when I say my father, you father my child. I'm going to always honor your role as fathering my child. And I feel like I owe that to my child to do that, because you're not absent. He takes my child every other week. He's very much a leader to her. Like, he's not just and that's why I say I always got to give him his props. Always. That's why I don't call him my baby dad. Ever. Like, even when I get upset, I always make sure I adhere to that standard of respect, because out of respect for what I asked him to do, I always asked him from day one. When I sat down with him and told him I was pregnant, I was like, the only thing I want you to do is just make sure no matter where we end up, you father my child. Don't ever leave her absent of that. And he's done it. If I call you baby dad, I just feel like it's just like, you ain't shit, really.
That's just my baby dad.
Right. Like, everybody who uses the term baby dad, I just feel like it's so bad. But you know what? My pops kicked it to me like that. When I first had it, like, it's my baby dad. You're not thinking. He was like, nah, call him a father. Like, manifest that. He's like, baby dad is just like temporary shit. Mm-hmm. And I never thought about it like that. And then, I don't know, I guess I just took it on. The more I start seeing the way he is with my daughter and stuff, like, I will always respect that man for that, because I see so many that don't. Women and men, though. Mm-hmm. It's definitely not just a man thing. It's definitely women and men, for sure. He definitely makes me, I'm glad that I have a co-parent who is the way he is, though, and he is present, because it allows me to just focus on being a mom. I don't have to try to be two parents. Like, she doesn't have the absence of that, thank God. So I can really focus on, okay, maternally, where can I excel at? Versus it being like, I'm trying to be mama and dad and, call you out on Father's Day. I'm not trying to do that, so.
I never want to be a baby daddy.
Yeah.
I never want to be, not even just the father of my child. If I end up with multiple women,
yeah,
I'm still going to be like the father. I'm still going to be in their life. Possibly in the woman's life too.
Yeah.
But I'll never want to be that nigga like, oh damn, I end up getting her pregnant. It's like, now I'm just taking care of a child.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think, like, that was one thing I can say when we were separating, like, as I kind of, not right off bat, I ain't even gonna lie, but like probably like 6 months into like really accepting we were separated, like no sex, no nothing, like really making agreements, like we leaving this shit alone, like we sat down and we probably talked for like 2 hours, and we just talked about like the things, kind of what we're talking about now. Like, what do you think went wrong? You know what I mean? Like, where do you feel like you could have been aided more? Like, what do you hope to gain from this type of stuff? And it's crazy because you would think like people don't have conversations like that. But I think that's kind of what set us off on the right foot as far as like the long-term of the relationship. Because that shit was up and down for a while, don't get me wrong. But we always kind of draw back to that conversation as like a grounding point. Like, we agreed that we would make sure that we were doing this as efficient as possible. No hate being spewed or, like for me, I had to start learning that I didn't always need to offer him a response. Because I think in the relationship, I had come to a point to where you feel like you're answering to a person all the time. And I had to realize, like, as us operating as two separate entities now, like, I'm kind of standing on my own, so I don't really owe you the responses that I'm giving, and it's creating an entitlement. So that's something that I had to learn to draw back from. And, like, for him, I think it was a, like, season of understanding. Like, you don't control that over there no more. So you have to accept that people are going to be who they're going to be. And, like, me when a person gets used to you saying yes or no, or like, giving them updates and stuff, and then you start taking that back, it's uncomfortable. So I think that's where a lot of our conflict was in the beginning. And then we drew to find an understanding of like, you know what, like, you're carrying on with your life and I'm carrying on with mine, and we have to respect that. And how you choose to parent my child, as long as she is happy and she's healthy and she's safe, like, I don't got no say so over there, and vice versa.
So there's no hope.
We are way better as friends. Like, he's excelling now. Like, he does like radio and stuff, and like this probably last year has probably been like the best year for us in a co-parenting situation. Like, just time wise, understanding, communication. Like, okay, I got this going on, you got this going on. I don't know, and granted, you never know, but I don't even really put it into perspective anymore of like, what if we went that way? Like, it's kind of more like, man, I just want to learn to be your friend. And if I can be your best friend, and like, within reason, obviously, but like, he was in a relationship and everything. Probably like about a year after we had broke up, he was in a relationship and everything. And like, I told him, I met her and everything. Like, hey, I'm Jalen's mom, like, and all that. And it's always been like a respect thing for me. Like, I never wanted to be like, oh, that's the baby mama, who wanna fuck the baby daddy? Like, no, it's not her. I am not her. This is not that. So, yeah, I think we're better as friends. I think some people you deal with them in seasons on like an intimate level to like teach you about a certain type of intimacy, whether you like it or whether you don't. But everybody ain't for the long run.
Very true.
Yeah.
I think people skip that step. Like, they forget, or they don't give enough time to like season like being friends and getting to really know a person. And I think all my relationships, most of them, I only have maybe 3 or 4, but all been like best friends.
Yeah.
And it's like, it ain't the pressure of like having a girlfriend. It's like, I'm really just kicking it with the homie.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But a lot of people like skip that.
I think that's probably where I've been absent. Like, in my relationships, if I would say there's something I need to work on, I think that's the part. Like, I would be the best of friends with people before. Like, I'm the girl who's, like, I'm really like a tomboy.
I could tell.
Yes, for sure. So, I'm the girl who'd be like, I'll talk to you like you one of the boys, and vice versa. You probably won't feel like you're talking to your girl, but I kind of want to, and I don't want to say master it, but I want to find a balance of like where that can still coexist in a relationship. I don't feel like I've really been in a situation with a person like that I've been romantically involved with where there's like true understanding of that. Like, I feel like people start expecting like a divine femininity. Like, I cook, I clean, I do all that. Obviously, I have a child, so like I have that instinct, but like, I'm not the girl who wants to dress up and put makeup on all the time and put heels and do all that. Like, I'd rather just kick it. Cool little vibe, sneakers and sweatpants, and like go see a movie or something like that. I think people, not to sound like arrogant or anything, but they see how I look and it turns into like I want to see how I can make you a bad bitch, instead of just appreciating like you just a different type.
Mm-hmm.
You in your own lane a little bit. And I think that's when I unlock, like, I don't feel like I've ever been successful in a relationship yet. I think that being successful in a relationship is really being able to find like a divine peace with a person. And I think there's a long-term nature to it. Like you said, like, you're my best friend. So irregardless to if we remove this romantic part, like, you're my best friend. I ain't found that yet. So that's, I think, kind of a journey I'm at now is like 27, I feel like I'm going on 40. So I'm kind of at a point now to where I'm like, damn, it's something, a behavior I got to learn, an attachment, or like something emotionally that I'm not allowing the relationship to season enough in that friend stage. Like, I'm the girl who's like, damn, let's just get married and just go do whatever we're going to do. Like, I know I'm going to be loyal and I'm going to be down. I'm going to figure you out. But that is not being successful. Like, it's too much of a rush. And I think people, you don't, like you say with the seasoning, like, you got to give people time to show themselves for who they really are and not keep up a facade.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a goal that I have for myself. Like, in the coming years is to be more patient. Like, with that seasoning of a relationship and not, like, rush into okay, cool, we down. Because a lot of niggas be wanting to wife me too. So it'd be like, let me go and take you off the market. But I got to learn to create a boundary to where it's like, you know what I mean? Like, let's give this more time for us to actually get to know each other.
Do they want to wife you because of your looks or what?
I would say it's like overall, you know what I mean? Like, I'm a really good person, and I'm very, very much a hustler too. So I think that speaks to a lot of men who come around me too. Is it's like, she's a girl you can come around and like, I know how to vibe and network with people, but also too, like, I'm like an innovator. Like, I like seeing how we can make things bigger. You know what I mean? How can we make them more efficient? And so that leads to a lot of like, I want to get money with you, which is a driving force for a lot of men. And so it turns into like, damn, I want to have you in my corner. But that sometimes leaves an absence of like the romantic side. And over time, I know me as a woman, like if I'm operating with you as like you my man and I'm your woman, I want that. And so people get comfortable with not giving that or not providing that. It turns like we're business partners. So I don't know.
Is something wrong with that?
I don't know. Like, I feel like the part of me that's feminine, like, I just need a balance of, I don't need it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, I like the, like, cuddling and laid up, like, let's just take a break from that because I think because I am such a thinker, though, like, I'm a person who will sit up for 2-3 hours and I'd be stuck on a thought. So I think it's a good, like, therapy for me to be able to, like, bask in the masculine energy of a man sometimes and just be like, okay, cool, you ain't gotta be hustling, you gotta be thinking about how we gonna come up or, you know what I mean, do this or being a mom or running this, but, like, you can just chill. So that's the part I think that I like having a balance of, even if it's not 50-50, like, I just need those moments.
Now, you say you're a therapist.
Something like that.
What makes you think that you're a therapist without having the proper certificates? And
I would say a therapist is a person who you can talk to and feel unbiased and safe with whatever information you're exchanging.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I do. Like, I'm a person who, when you talk to me, I think it becomes very evident that I'm not judging. I don't know if it's because of my tone, my energy, whatever it is, but people have always found it very easy to talk to me. And that's kind of, I think, how I took on that role. Like, I would just listen, and a lot of women, too, come to me for advice. Like,
I was going to ask that. Do you get more men or women?
I would say both, though. Like, people are randomly call me and just be like, okay, look, ask me a question about relationships or manifestation or businesses or just like self-love. Like, damn, what do you do when you're stuck? Like, prime example, I'm trying to leave this man alone. Mm-hmm. And like, I know he's not good for me. Like, what are things that you would do to leave a person alone? Or like, how should I be patient with myself? Am I being gullible, etc.? Like, I think that line of questioning becomes uncomfortable because a lot of people will be judgmental. Mm-hmm. Like, you stupid. You know what I mean? Like, you know that nigga ain't shit.
Yeah.
But I think coming to a person like me, people feel like I can ask that question. And even if I know I'm a little bit stupid, you're not going to tell me I'm stupid in a way that makes me feel like I'm stupid. It's just about the way you approach people. Like, I know everybody goes through their shit. And everybody has different reasons to do things that I might look at and be like, that doesn't make sense. But everybody's sense is not common. So my common sense is going to be different from yours. The way you view the world, the way you think that things are right or wrong, and you got to leave grace for that. So I think being in any therapy capacity, you got to be able to do that. You got to be able to put your pride, your ego, your thoughts, your feelings aside and just literally listen to a person from their perspective. And then come in later and be like, okay, cool, this is how I would construct this to be a little bit more productive on your behalf. But yeah, I really just got into it by having conversations like this. Just sitting down talking to people. Like, damn, you really listening, but you probably went to 3-4 people who was like, man, you stupid. Like, that is dumb. That is not a good idea. So, it's just a comfortable thing, man. I mean, everybody needs somebody to talk to. Everybody. Even you. Yeah. I ain't gonna do it.
I get on the mic and I can't say that it's like therapy. It's therapeutic.
Yeah.
But I mean, I can't really say what I want to say for real.
Yeah.
Like, how I really feel. I gotta really make it entertaining.
Yeah.
But I do get to like express myself in ways that I can't with people.
Yeah.
I guess it's just. So yeah, be my therapist for 10 minutes.
Okay. What do you need therapy on? What do you want to focus on as an individual? What's a goal you have for yourself emotionally, like, or something you don't talk about? That's where therapy starts, is the uncomfortable shit.
Got me thinking. That I don't talk about.
Or like, so like we were talking about earlier, right? Like a lot of men, like when it comes to emotional stuff, there's not really a lot of room for a man to be like, man, I'm really sad about this shit. You know what I mean? It's like an expectation, like masculine means you can't show emotion. So like, what's something that you feel like you can't express to the general public without feeling like weak? Yeah. Do you want love?
Do I want love?
Yeah, like serious love, like.
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Do you feel like where you're at in life that you're able and willing to contribute what's necessary to get that from a person?
Sort of, kind of.
Okay.
Only because I'm just in a selfish state right now.
Okay.
But I think I have like, it's room for love. I just don't. The door's not open for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it because you're closing it?
Because I'm what?
Are you closing the door?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I feel like I meet a lot of women,
Mm-hmm.
but I just don't let them get that close. Like once I start feeling like it's getting too real,
Yeah.
I just dead that shit.
Okay, so you be running.
I wouldn't necessarily say I'm running. I just know that it's not time. Like, let's just say if I wanted a child, like I want a child, but is it the right time for it?
Yeah.
I don't need it right now. I
Yeah.
want one. Like I want love, but do I really need love? So I don't want to sacrifice where like what I'm trying to do to like let that come in, because you need time for a person. You know, like you got to commit to a person, and I'm fully committed to like my goals.
Yeah.
So how do I?
So what if there's like, do you feel like there's an opportunity for a person to come in and help you propel yourself forward to what you're trying to do? Like, what if you met a person who came in and usually it's unexpected, because that's usually how it goes. They begin to push you, like whether it be in their network, their resources, or even just their companionship. Because sometimes that, like even for me, with friends, granted, like I said, I don't feel like I've been successful companion-wise, but like friends and stuff, I find that having a person where you can just like sort out your thoughts sometimes is so powerful, and a dedicated person like that. And a lot of times, like a companion becomes that. And as a man, especially a black man, in an industry where I feel like you have to be so careful about what you say, it's so important that you have a means to be just not by the book. I'm not thinking about how this could be reshared. I'm not thinking about, not saying you are all the time, but you do have to be careful with what you say. And I think when you get to being on this type of platform where you're having so many different discussions with so many people, like being able to download to a person and just be real and raw, like that might be beneficial. In a companion. I mean, not saying you have to go get one, but I think it is beneficial. Just because I don't know, just every man who I've ever talked to and have a conversation, especially single men, like that's the one thing they're looking for in a woman. It's like, I just want somebody who will sit and like listen to me and help me work out my thoughts. And like, if I'm like, damn, me and my boy just did XYZ, and I'm like, I'm trying to figure out how I should handle this situation. Like, sometimes talking to a friend or your mother or a relative, it just isn't suitable because you're still cognizant of their emotions. But, like, when you find a partner where you can be real and raw with, you can just let that shit out. And then, you know, come to your and draw your own conclusions. But it's kind of like therapy. Like, you feel like it's an unbiased environment. Like, you're going to ride for me regardless. I don't know. I just see you. You remind me a lot of my brother's energy. And I ain't going to lie. He used to be the same way. Like, he was always so anti, like, I don't want to say anti-relationships, but he was just like, you know, I want to focus on what I got to focus on for myself. And then when he got with his child's mother, like, I just saw a change in him. And it's crazy because now that they just had their baby, he says to me, like, I'm so happy that I met her. I didn't know that I needed her until I found her, type thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm wondering if you ever have or speculate on that idea of, like, what if you just haven't encountered the right person with the right energy for where you're at? What if there's a person who can aid in the bed where you're trying to go versus it being like, damn, if I give you too much time and energy, I'm not vested in what I have to do for myself. Like, what if you vested time in a person who was vested in your craft too?
That's rare.
Mm-hmm.
I think the dating pool is just everybody's like, what can they get out of you versus what you can pour into a person. What can I give you? How can I help you?
Yeah.
And you know, I don't want that. I don't want nobody like taken from me because I ain't got nothing to give.
Yeah.
Like, I think my superpower is being single.
Yeah.
And my power is being single and not having kids.
Yeah.
And it's like, do I like that? Do I like being single and not having kids? I do. Only to the capacity is like, okay, I meet women and like that's like a turn on. Oh, you ain't got no kids.
Right.
You how old? You single too?
Right.
You got this shit going on? It's like,
right.
Yeah, you boosting my ego.
Do you think that's making you happy though? Like on a genuine level?
I'm happy because I'm becoming successful.
Okay. I respect that.
And like I sacrifice a lot. Like women, I ain't gonna say I don't think. When people look at me, right, they expect this type of person.
Yeah.
Oh, he this rich nigga and
They think you're a gigolo.
not that. That too though. That too. Which I'm not though, right? Like,
I told you, like, your energy is completely different in person than what I would have expected. But that's social media, though. Think about how many people are probably like that, where it's like you, not even that you're keeping up. Like, I feel like we all have our face on social media, and then in solace, probably in our recharge, where we just have different qualities. Like, you're way more laid back than I expected. Like, way more.
I understand the power of the internet. I understand. I understand like how to shift people's minds, or like I'm a character basically.
Right.
Like it's who I am, but when I get in front of this camera, like I have to. It's this fucking person that I formulated, and I give people this side of me, but I'm not like that all the time.
Do you think that, and this is something that people ask me too, like with being on social media, do you think that one, like the version of yourself that you portray on social media and the person that you are probably behind closed doors, do you think that one is equally or less more you? Or do you feel like they're both components to what makes you who you are?
It's me. Because I'm never acting, you know, like, but I'm just in a different element.
See, and I've had conversations with people like that, and people are so hell-bent on, like, it has to be one or the other, and I'm like, I feel like people have, like, different sides to them, you know? Like, and it depends on who you're around or what you're doing. Like, I can definitely agree with, like, when I'm doing my lives and stuff, I'm, like, in a whole different element.
Yeah.
It's, like, it's therapy, but it's, like, opening yourself up to be vulnerable because it's, like, every minute that you're recording, it's live and in the flesh, there's no script. You know? And I think that it creates a capacity where you can just kind of like vibe with people on a different level. It's more genuine. But sometimes, like, when I'm sitting back and I have time to think about things, I don't know if it makes it more scripted, but it's like when you have more time to think about things, like, you might process them differently or articulate them differently. But I think they're both a part of who you are, though.
Definitely. I could, like, compare it to, like, when I play sports.
You're right.
Like, I'm really aggressive. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking shit. Like, you might think, like, I don't like you or I hate you. Or
Right.
it's like I'm trying to fight you or something, but it's like that's just who I am in this element.
Right.
And when I get in front of this camera, when I'm in work mode, because I'm working,
Right.
that's just who I am. But, like, when I'm off this camera, like, I'm just me.
Yeah.
I have to, like, I could take this shield or this mask off and just relax.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll never, like, be like fake. I don't want anybody, like, trying to call me out, like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, you got this facade, or like you trying to portray this image on social media and it's not really you. No, like, this is me.
Yeah.
Because I never say anything fake. Like, people are like, oh, you be saying all this shit like you don't be having sex, and or you like this perfect nigga. I never try to portray him like a perfect nigga. I just say the things that I say, and everything don't just have to relate to me. I say things that can relate to other people, and that could be a message. Sometimes it just flow out of me, and I know other people can relate to it, so I say it.
Right.
And then people just, I don't know, people just take it real serious.
I think people look at social media as a means and opportunity to portray, like, perfection.
Mm-hmm.
And what I had to realize, like, even me, some people would be like, damn, why are you not getting in life? I'm like, because I'm living life, so I have something to talk about.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm experiencing things so I can speak with substance, because I don't ever want to be one of those people, nothing against them, who gets on social media and is, like, scripted. You know, like, I'm just trying to find something to talk about or find some type of purpose to be on here on live with you guys. Like, nah, when I get on here, I want to be moved to do it. Like you said, like, if I feel like I might be having a conversation with somebody, and a lot of it will come from just, like, phone conversations and shit, people asking me questions, and I'll be like, you know what, that's a really good point. Like, people could learn from that on a grander scale. So I'll present it, but I don't feel like that makes you any less real or raw, because maybe something that I say may not apply to me. Everything I say, I don't feel like applies to me. I feel like I have a basic and oftentimes more intermediate understanding of whatever thought that I'm projecting, but it doesn't always apply to how I'm living my life as a person. And that's something I had to learn to separate, like, even doing social media. Like, some things I say are for the people. Some things I say are for situations that I have yet to encounter or that I'm still learning in, you know. And I think, too, like, even when we were talking preliminarily before, recording, like, just about learning yourself and, like, being able to operate in the capacity of, like, understanding what you want, you know, and, like, where you're trying to go. You got to understand that for yourself when you are in social media, for sure, because it's so easy to get lost in what people want you to be. Like you said, like, people look at you and be like, man, he's just this loud, outgoing, like, you know, definitely. But you, like I said, you have a very, like, dominant personality, too. So I think it's easy to make that assumption, too, especially with the platform that you have of, like, I don't want to say it, but, like, you like a jock or something. You know what I mean?
A jock.
Yeah. I call it a jock. Just out here, you know, you messing around with these women and you having your way in life. But people don't look beneath the surface a lot of times. Like, this might just be some shit I'm kicking to y'all folks. And I don't think that makes you fake. I definitely had to, like, grow out of that. I had to grow out of that to where it was like, sometimes I would feel like I would have these, like, positive words of encouragement from social media, and, like, I had these premonitions, and then, like, I might go through something that's like, damn, I was just preaching this big energy, but, like, my energy a little. And I had to learn that that's what makes you human. That's what makes you transparent, and that's why people love your platform, is the up and the down of it, because everybody's not having a great day every single day. Like, you might have, 6 out of your 7 days might be great, but you always have those moments where it either becomes overwhelming, tired, etc. And I think being able to level with people on both sides is important, because people gotta know, like, shit, we all human. I know you don't wake up every day and be like,
I be wake up and I don't even want to get on social media. I don't even want to. Yes. I don't even want to, like, because social media opens the door to, like, it makes people feel like I'm available. Like, if I'm not picking up the phone or anything like that, like, just because I post or I'm on social media, oh, let me call them, or let's. I don't know what it is, but if I take a step back and, out of sight, out of mind, like people won't call me.
Yes.
They're like, I wish I could just take a week off.
Yeah.
But I can't.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't take social media personally. This is not personal for me. Like, I don't post family. I don't post, like, it's nothing personal. Everything is just work based.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get on live for real. I don't really post stories for real.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I'm a little mysterious too. I'm mysterious in person. People tell me.
Yes.
But on social media, I really try to play this mysterious guy. And then when I do pop out, it's like people are so like interested. Like, what is he really doing? Like, what's going on for real? Because I don't show that.
Do you think that aids and abets like your platform and like the way you grow with it? Is just the mystery behind it?
Yeah, all of it is well thought out. All of it.
Yeah.
I just understand humans. I just understand psychology. I understand how to make like a cult following.
Right.
I just get it.
Yeah.
Like, make people really in tune, like, with your life. Like, when I was in house arrest, I made people follow that journey with me.
Yeah.
Like, oh, look, I made this little big thing. Like, yo, I'm on house arrest for the next 4 months. Like, and everybody's like, damn.
Yeah.
And then I show people the process, like, what I'm doing. Then when I got off, I made it like a thing. And it's like, when people see me out, like, damn, were you finally off house arrest?
Yeah.
And it's like, they really thought they was going through that shit with me.
I think that shit kind of be dope, though.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like when I saw that, even from me as, a person who does this type of stuff, watching it, it's just like, this is why I do it, man. It's that transparency of like, you might idolize me. You might think I'm like damn near the perfect person.
Right.
But I want you to always leave room for my humanity.
Mm-hmm.
Always. Like, I fuck up just like everybody else.
Yeah.
And even when I saw that, I'm like, because, you had did some pretty dope-ass interviews prior to that, like, all of that even coming out. So it was dope just to, like, see that human come out of you. You know what I mean? Like, I always got that vibe from you anyways, but it was dope to see other people respond to it. And, like, you might be looking at me like I'm just this single rich man who got all this shit together, but, I got shit going on, too, but I'm just carrying it different. And I think there's a power that comes from men who maybe in similar situations are dealing with it. Like, that shit is not the end-all, be-all.
And I wanted it to be a lesson, too, because at first I was like, damn, like, should I hide it?
Yeah.
I was like, why? Like, I'm so open about, like, going to prison and stuff like that. Like,
yes.
Shit happens.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know who I can help with this story or who's going through the same shit. So let me just be open and people just going to resonate with it.
Right.
And I don't know, like, it did something with women, too. I don't know, like, people just, it gave me, like, this bad boy image.
Yeah.
And
do you like it?
I just like being me. I like being different.
Yeah.
Like, I don't ever want to be like everybody else that's out here. And, like, I just want to be me. And it's just who I am. Like, yeah, I went to prison. Yeah, I'm going through shit. Yeah, I got a probation officer. Yeah, I be fucking up.
Yeah.
It's just what it is. You know, like, shit.
I think there's a hope that comes with showing people that you're dealing with shit, but you're still maneuvering a certain way. Because even for you to have that going on, you still have a lot of other positive things that are going on at the same time simultaneously. So I think it's encouraging, because I ain't gonna lie, like, doing black man therapy and just, like, talking to people who have, like, this sense of, like, man, I can't be bigger than this moment. It's people like you who keep them inspired. You know what I mean? On every aspect. Like, that's why even with what I do and talking to people, like, that's always kind of been a thing I always wanted to push. Like, you're bigger than this moment. Whatever it is and whatever you got going on. Like, even like I told you when I was doing, like, the Mozzie stuff, and he had everything he was going on, and he was sharing kind of, like, the journey and stuff. And at first he was just kind of, like, I think he was kind of really, like, the first person who had, like, a lot of shit going on who showed me the power of just owning that shit. Like, I'm going to handle my business. Like, we were in the middle of out on Melrose doing our photo shoot for the cover of the magazine, and, like, he was on the phone with his lawyer at the same exact time as he's in the middle of the photo shoot, and, like, he stopped the call and everything. He's like, yo, y'all, I gotta do this big energy real quick. And seeing him operate in that capacity, I had so much more respect, because I'm like, wow, like, you could have not made this a priority. You could have let this, you know what I mean, like, hinder you from continuing to try to move forward. And, like, even before he went in, he did so much. And that's something that I think I kind of took away from having him around as a person who I was communicating with, was like, there's never any excuse. it's okay for you to slow down and put your foot on the brake. That's something my mentor taught me. It's like sometimes it's not putting your foot on the gas that propels you forward. Sometimes it's taking a stop. You know what I mean? Making a rest stop and re-strategizing yourself. And then another thing, mantra he kind of put in my head is like, sometimes we think that when we aren't making a shot, we got to line it up from a different point on the court. But the reality is sometimes our best shot is just by lining up and mastering the one that we're already at. And that's something that I've carried with me to where I used to always feel like I had to rush. Like, I used to always feel like I had to hurry up and get this done or hurry up and get that done. And, like, you know, I'm young, but, like, this generation, like, people are starting off millionaires at 14, you know, doing YouTube and shit. So it puts pressure on you. But what I learned is that we all have our own journey and our own testimony and our own timing, furthermore. So sometimes I believe that people who learn earlier on down the line are meant to be led by people who may have been considered to be late bloomers. And there's like a balance that comes from having that kinship and like that mentorship. Everybody can't make it at the same time, or I feel like people would be absent of certain lessons or, you know, moral compass. Like, I love being able to talk to OGs, but I also like talking to younger people too, because you see how different the mindset is. And then it's like finding a balance in between, you know? Like, I want to move fast enough to where I can keep up, but I want to move slow enough to where I'm really resonating with my journey. I just don't want to rush it.
I used to be the same way. I used to just, like, I always just felt like I had to get rich quick.
Yes.
And it made me do things. Well, I was always like this, but I wasn't, like, thinking about, like, feds and shit like that. I wasn't, like, covering my tracks and shit like that.
Yes.
I was like, let me get this money now.
Yes.
But it took for me to, like, stop, slow down, and, like, actually think, like, damn, what is the fucking rush for real? Like, what am I really? It's really because I'm comparing my shit to other people's shit.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get rich. I'm trying to get to a point in my life because I see other people at my age doing better than me. So it's like, damn, I ain't doing enough.
Yes.
It's like now it's like I don't give it all the. Most of the people around me are more richer than me.
Yeah.
They got way more money, like way more shit going on. It's like I don't let that rush me or push me to make mistakes.
Yeah. I think the art of comparison can be one of the biggest detriments to people being successful.
Yeah.
Like, and I ain't gonna lie, like, social media definitely makes it hard not to do that. Like, even for me, like, I unfollowed all the blogs and everything. Like, I came in, and it's probably like 9-10 months ago, where I just was like, my sister was talking about it actually. She's like, I just started realizing, like, I was inviting all this, like, energy, like, shit that people I probably wouldn't even care to even know their business. Like, I'm just knowing this stuff, and it's like, I'm filling up space in my mind and my atmosphere to consume it with shit that doesn't really apply to where I'm trying to go. And I'm like, damn, I never thought about it like that. And this is probably, like, a year and a half ago. And then, like, I don't know what it was. I just started seeing so much negativity. Like, it was just so much negativity on there. And I'm like, I felt it impacting, like, how I was interacting. You know what I mean? Like, I felt more tired and, like, drained. And I'm an empath, so, like, I take on energy very easily. But I've learned to become more responsible with it. But social media seems so harmless sometimes. Like, when you're scrolling and shit, you don't think about what you're taking in. You know what I mean? And then next thing you know, it's like, now I'm like, I'm hopeless in love because I done watched 6 different breakups about couples that have nothing to do with me, and I be like, I just wanted to change. Like, it has severely changed. I ain't gonna lie, like, how I interact on social media. Like, it made all the difference in the world just unfollowing that shit. Because you're gonna see it on people's reposts and stuff too, but, like, if I don't catch your story, like, you know, I'm not bothered by that. But scrolling through my timeline and I'm sitting up bored, and like I told you, even trying to, like, fill in instead of scrolling in the middle of the night and shit, like, listening to meditation music or something. You know what I mean? Or, like, doing something different. You just gotta have a balance of that shit, because negativity will definitely consume it, especially when it's, like, a big story going on. Like, it seems like it's so many other things that follow, and it can become draining, but it's tough when you're building a platform on social media, because it's like, I gotta get on here.
I spend most of my time on my page.
Yeah.
I try not to, like, because there's so much information that we download and receive every day just by scrolling.
Yes.
And we don't understand, like, okay, our subconscious is downloading this shit. And sometimes we don't even notice if it's negative or positive. We're just scrolling, taking a mental note, keep scrolling, and it's like, that shit affects you, seriously. And I understand the power of that.
Yes.
I understand, like, that shit is like food.
Mm-hmm.
You are what you eat. You are what you consume. So if I'm looking at bullshit all day, if I'm looking at, like, ass and titties all day, if I'm
Right.
looking at niggas, like, counting, like, it does something to you without you knowing. And
I feel like it's like kind of like a silent distractor.
mm-hmm.
And it's like, I started to notice, like, people would mention things to me on social media that I didn't even know I retained. And that's what made me, like, unfollow everything. I'm like, damn, I'm really taking this shit in. But, like, I need to be, like, doing something more productive. So, like, I started trying to follow more motivational quote pages and, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that, like little videos and inspirational videos and stuff. I'm like, that's the lane you're driving into. You know what I mean? That's where you want to be at and where you want to reside. So, you need to be surrounding yourself by the environment that you want to be a product by versus being a product of an alternate environment and not being cognizant of it whatsoever. Mm-hmm. Social media is a motherfucker though.
I know when I asked you for the first interview and I was like, what the topic of the conversation was, and he was like, well, yeah, I ain't on that.
Yeah.
And I get it though, you know what I'm saying? I understood where you was coming from, like
there's some like if I'm sitting back and we was just having a conversation and just kicking it, cool, you know what I mean? But for me, it wasn't even nothing against it. I just knew like it wasn't my topic. I'm like, it's so much other, like I told you, like I kind of, and this is probably just from watching the interviews you've done and stuff, like I have this vision of like you being able to be pivotal in black man therapy. So from the time you hit me, I had already like had that in mind. Like we just gonna have a real conversation about like life and shit. Like you know what I mean? Like aspiring to be great and what that takes and what your journey is and what my journey is and kind of like finding a common ground. I had already kind of had that in my mind. So although I was like, damn, you know, I want to connect with Brand, like get on there. I'm like, this is when I said I probably this ain't the time. And it took for me to like talk to my sister and like people who I converse with, and they're like, be real with yourself. You a fine girl already. Like I know even some of the stuff that I post, that's one thing about me too. I don't ever want to be in no box. I don't ever want anybody to get on here and just be like, oh yeah, she's just a motivational speaker. I don't ever want anybody to get on here and be like, she's just a video vixen. I don't ever, but I want people to understand like I'm me. Like, you know, I'm all around. Whatever that means, whatever capacity, however I feel on that given day or in this given season, I'm open and willing to adjust to whatever environment that makes me happy or, you know, brings me peace, whatever that means. So, like, even when I post certain stuff, like, people look and be like, people just tell me all the time, like, man, you can't post stuff like that. Why not?
It's you.
You know what I mean? It's me. I don't want people to get on here and, not that I care, but I don't want it to just be like this is square business because it's not. I be kicking it too. But, you know, then other times I might be more serious and be like, no, let's, like, talk about some real life shit. But I think that because I am so open like that and I create that room, it makes it so people want to talk to me more. Because it's like you're not really just confining yourself to one thing. If people just thought I was a square, they'd be way more reluctant. Like, some of the conversations I had, I know they'd never approach me. Because it'd be like people who I know you don't talk to nobody. And they'll come and they'll talk to me. I'd be like, it's a shock, but for me, it's kind of like an honorable thing, too. It's probably like a stroker for my ego, because it'd be like, I'm just happy that I'm the person you chose. You know? Like, I think going through postpartum, away from my family and stuff, one thing that I really, really took heed to and found valuable was being able to find those people that, like, were my inner court. And, like, my mentor calls it my sandbox, to where it's like, and if you think about kids playing in the sandbox, it's like, you can talk, you're interacting, there's no judgment. Like, everybody just be fucking it up and building sandcastles in the sandbox, but we all build it together. It's unbiased. Like, that's important, I feel like, for anybody to have, like I say, just because people need a place they can go and feel safe with their thoughts and their feelings and emotions. And so I think not having that and then gathering that, like, it was something I really prayed for, honestly. Because I was like, I don't want to just be sitting around sad about shit, you know what I mean? Like, I'm a very positive person. So, like, the challenge to myself was, like, how do you grow from this moment, you know? Like, you can't run from what you're feeling. You can't. Postpartum is so uncontrolled. It's like a rain cloud you don't realize, like, that you're under until it's like you see the sunshine. And so my goal was, like, how do I find the sunshine in the rain? And then from growing from that, I began to learn how pivotal that was for people. Like, So many people who be stuck in like depressive spells and shit is because there's the absence of that. Like a place where they can really go to just talk and let that shit out. Or like even journaling and shit. Or listening to audiobooks and shit like that. Like you just gotta consume yourself with like other thoughts and other means to let it out. And just be without judgment. Because judgment can be so powerful to a person who's already lost. There's been so many people I talk to, they be like, man, I talked to people about this before, and it's like, man, I just never could find, like, peace about it, you know? And that's what it was. It's like the judgment. You feel like people are waiting to correct what you say instead of just listening. Like, damn, you really going through it right now. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have no feedback. I ain't gonna tell you what you should have did better, what you could have did better. Like, I'm sorry you feel that way. I'm just here to support that feeling right now. That's it. And then growing into from there, you know. Now when you come back from your second and your third conversation, we might be able to grow a little bit.
Why do you think men can't speak about, not even just men, but let's stay with men. Why do you think that men can't speak about their traumas and like shit they've been through?
I think it is this negative connotation. Like when a man shows his softness, it's weak. And as a woman who's been around, like my pops, okay, so my real dad got killed when I was 3.5. My pops came in my life when I was about 10. And one of the most powerful things he ever showed me was just that. Like the vulnerability of a man and being able to talk. But he really grew. He grew in fathering me to be able to do that. Like just talking about shit you want to talk to. And I guess I kind of learned about men through that. Like how sometimes being a powerful woman is just being able to aid a powerful man. Sometimes it's just being able to sit back and be a listening ear in a diary for him where he doesn't have the strength to write or where he doesn't have, you know, the emotional intelligence to be able to speak it in what most people would be able to accept. And what I mean by that is sometimes when a man comes off emotional, people take it as aggressive. Like, sometimes therapy for a man is yelling. You know what I mean? Like, it's cussing and getting all that, but, like, it's therapy. And I think that being supportive to anybody, you know, brother, father, whatever the case is, partner, like, you got to be able to understand that, like, a woman is the emotional intelligence of a man, and a man is the logical sense of a woman. And when you have balance in that, whatever kind of relationships it is, that's where you find power. Because men are equipped to process emotion with logic. That's why it comes off like you so hardcore, or you know what I mean? Like you're not showing softness. Versus like where women, we just gonna cry about that shit. You know what I mean? Or if you notice like really masculine women, what is the difference between them and what you would consider to be a feminine woman is 9 times out of 10, they just not showing their emotion. They being straightforward, straight to the point, talking through that shit. And you just be like, damn, you're so direct. You're so aggressive, like somebody really hurt you. But the reality is that's what most men take on in their persona of like expressing themselves or their emotions. It's like, I can't cry about it because you're going to think I'm soft. But if I talk about it too aggressively, now you think I'm an asshole.
I don't think girlfriends can be like a therapist.
Yeah.
I think it's hard for us to even, like, we could tell women what we've been through, but to actually like show the emotion, like how we're really feeling, crying and shit like that. I didn't cry in front of like my girlfriends, and I felt like that was a safe place to do it, but only because that was the only thing. Like she was the only person that could just like let this shit go. But a girlfriend is, I don't think, like, it's hard for us to like just express, like, unless she asks, like if she's trying to push it out of you, because we just can't walk up to him and be like, look, baby, I went through this today. It's like this. See, women could do that, like, but men, we can't just, without being asked, we can't just like let it out.
That's why I think even as like a woman now, I've been more cognizant of that. Like when I had a lot of homeboys and brothers and shit like that. So a lot of men, like I vibe with men on a higher level. I've always been that way. So one thing I've learned with the men in my life is that, like, I ask those questions.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also asking those questions in a way that doesn't make them feel like you're being interrogated. Because sometimes it becomes uncomfortable. Like, when a man feels like you're interrogating him about his emotions, like me, I have this problem in relationships where it'd be like, I feel. So, like, if I know something's off with you, I'm going to want to help solve the problem. Not for the sake of knowing, but I want to help to solve it. And what I learned is that sometimes that can come off too abrasive. And, like, especially for a person who doesn't like answering questions. And sometimes people don't have the answers.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I've also learned to plant the seed and let a person water their own soil. Like, I plant the seed of, like, hey, you know, what's going on? Like, you all right? You seem a little off. Cool. No pressure after that. You give a person the room for them to come to you as they see fit versus it being like, okay, I'm going to push this shit out of you. Because, I don't know, my response with that type of approach has always been like, it's very rare that people, men in particular, respond that way. Versus where it's like, when I just let them naturally come to me, it's easier that way. It's more natural. It doesn't feel forced. And honestly, the response becomes more genuine. Mm-hmm. It's like, I'm not on trial about this shit. Mm-hmm. I'm literally just talking to my homie. So, I don't know. I think it takes a special type of partner to be able to do that with men or women, though. To be able to converse.
I think you have that friendship.
Yes.
That plays a really important part. If you have that relationship, that friendship, versus you just my girlfriend and like we in love, and like if you really my friend, I can really console to you. Like I can let out my emotions.
So how do you feel? Okay, so you're like going off of the tangent of your partner not being able to like be your therapist. How do you feel about operating with like having like a female best friend while you with somebody seriously dating? Like, have you been in a situation like that?
Women don't allow that. But you need it. You can't like it's but so many things you can, or so many things you could talk to about with a guy, but like women they get jealous. They can't take the fact that I'm giving my thoughts, my energy to another woman. It should all be her. Yeah. But I think it's healthy. Yeah. Because we need that feminine energy. It just can't be my sister. It just can't be my cousin.
Yes. I ain't gonna lie. I'm always like the female friend. So that's why I was curious about that question, because there are like some women for sure. Like, number one, I'm not a disrespectful person when it comes. Like, I'm very respectful of people's relationships. I think it becomes uncomfortable for women how easy it is for people to talk to me sometimes. So, whereas it might just be like genuine. Like, I have men who I have friendships with that like we have never talked about sex, alluded to any sexual energies. It's literally just like, you the homie. I supply you with the feminine energy and understanding of like feminine energy, and you provide me in exchange and understanding for like masculine shit. Like, you gonna put me down. If I'm talking to a dude, I can come to you like, hey, this is what he said, what do you think about this? I think that's very important to have outside of your relationship. And like you said, outside of family too. Family can be biased. So what I found though is that like a lot of women become so intimidated by that. Like, I don't know how to smooth that over though.
Well, it's because you're pretty. That's one. It's just harder to accept it. Like, it's hard to accept the fact that, oh, you're going to be talking to this pretty girl, and nothing is going to come from that. Yes. And like, I posted this today too. You can't control people. You gotta understand, like, people are people. Like, we have to be human beings. Don't come in my life saying, okay, you can't have no female friends. You can't be around this person. Like, I'm a human being. We're meant to be around people, not just men. I just can't have homies, homeboys. I gotta have women in my life. Yes. Platonic friends.
So do you feel like, okay, because some men who feel this way about men to women don't feel this way about women having male friends. So how do you feel about that with your partner? Like, are you okay with that?
They can have as many friends as they want, because I don't want that control. I don't want somebody to tell me I can't have friends. Yes. Now, if you choose, like, me telling you can't have a male friend, meaning I don't trust you. Yes. Or I'm insecure about our situation. Yeah. I'm not insecure. I'm secure. I'm very confident. Yeah. But if that's what you choose to do, then by all means, go right ahead. You're not for me.
people have like the mantra of that have always been like, because I mean, dating in Atlanta especially, like the whole mantra is like, them niggas just want to fuck you.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the whole thing. And granted, I don't take nothing away from the male, nothing. You know what I mean when it comes to that. But I honestly, and people call me naive for that, I don't believe every person who comes around me wants to fuck me. I believe that there's a natural, innate thing in a man to where it's like you probably gonna have more of a sex drive. But I believe that like when I have interactions with people, it depends on the energy that I put off or that I allow. You know what I mean? Like, and to them too. Like, I don't feel like every person that approaches me and that I have a vibe with has sexual energy. I think sometimes it's just like genuine nature. And what I found is like with dating people, like that's like a scapegoat. But it's like I started to feel like it's like a mechanism for insecurity and control, where it's like every nigga who comes around you wants to fuck you. I'm like, it's not the case. Sometimes they be putting me down on the bullshit you be doing. You just have no idea. So I just wonder if it's ever a possibility for me, especially me as a person, to have like a fully functioning male friend relationship without, because like my male friends who don't have girlfriends, obviously it's smooth sailing, like we be kicking it. But the ones who have like committed relationships and things, even with making it an opportunity to like meet the woman and all that, I wonder will it ever go anywhere? Like that insecurity. Probably not.
It just depends on the woman. She has to be really secure with herself.
Yeah.
And the guy, both ways.
Yeah.
But I can truly have friendships, and it'd be nothing. I don't never even think about it. Like, I got a homegirl, I never, like, she walks around here naked, she be in my bathtub.
Yeah.
I never look at her like that. Not saying that I'm not attracted to it, but I'm not attracted to it like that. Like, I understand, like, what the dynamic is. We just cool.
Yes.
And we just humans. Like, you can be yourself around me. I had this one lady, and because I'm really affectionate.
Yeah.
And she spent the night at my house. And it really wasn't that. We was like drinking wine till like 5 a.m, and she just didn't feel like driving home.
Yeah.
So she slept at my crib. So as I laid next to her, I just like cuddled with her. It wasn't like, I wasn't thinking nothing of it for real. It was just me being like a guy. Like,
Yeah.
it was either cuddle you with you or fuck you. Like,
right.
But she took it as like, she took it a whole nother way. Like, she felt like I was like, why would you put your arms around me? Like, why would you do this? Like, I didn't show you anything else but that. You get nothing from me but that right there. And once you left, like, it wasn't, I didn't try to come at you or nothing like that. It's just like,
I wish there was more room for like platonic relationships like that. Because I feel like you said, they're so healthy. Being able to, like, I know sometimes even me, because I'm a woman at the end of the day, I'll be dating people and like I might accept something that a person does in my ego or my emotions. And sometimes you need that, not a woman. You know what I mean? Like, you need a male correspondent to be like, he might have meant it like that. Because ultimately, males do have a better understanding of males versus females, and females have a better understanding of females. So I think even with my homies, like, they'll call me and be like, hey, man, you know, she doing this, X, Y, Z. Like, what do you think about this? Like, do you think it's something I said that I did? And I don't think that a male or a female is always the best advice for that. Like, sometimes I feel like females, when I vent about men, like, you're really doing more harm than you're doing good. You know what I mean? Like, being emotional or doing some outlandish shit that probably isn't of substance. Versus a man might kick it to you straight. Like, I don't know, I just be respecting that shit. Be like, damn, you right, I am tripping. Like, I would rather have that than for a person to let me spiral out of control and then come back to me like, oh yeah, you tripping. Right. When shit gets bad, you know?
Right.
The male advice of my life has definitely made an impact, for sure. And I think, too, I'm probably more led by men because of the relationship I have with my pops, too. Like, the way that he fathers me, I just respect our communications on such a high level. Like, my pops, the way that we talk to each other, it'd be like, you'd think we was homies, you know? And so I think that that's something I've carried on into, like, the people I have in my life. Like, I like that type of communication where it's real raw and it's constructive at some point. Not always from the jump street, but, you know, at some point we're going to get to some type of construct. I wish there could be more platonic relationships on my behalf, though. Like, with men, I learned so much from men, about men. I feel like being around men and communicating them is going to help me be a better wife. I really do. I feel like women, I do think I need kind of more of a femininity about myself in certain aspects. But I do feel like men can tell you what men like. Not that all men are the same, but also being around them and like understanding them on a platonic level will help me to be better in a relationship in a committed sense of like,
Right.
you know, I'm practicing here kind of, you know,
Mhm.
versus practicing with a bunch of people you're in a relationship with or,
Mhm.
you know, building physical ties with and shit. You're just dealing with a person strictly off of the basis of you're a man and I'm a woman and we're friends. And I'm understanding the opposite sex this way.
Mhm.
Versus because emotions and sex, they'll fuck shit up sometimes.
Every time. Every time. And I understand that, like, you can't cross that line. Like, it's no going back
Yeah.
once you cross that line.
I was just about to ask you that too. Do you feel like you've dealt with anybody where you've crossed that line and then after you do it, you be like, damn. You know what I mean? I wish I would have never went there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I had a best friend, like, years ago, and I never looked at her, but one day, I just
Yeah.
looked at her differently,
Mm-hmm.
and it was mostly my dick. I wasn't thinking logically,
Accountability.
and we ended up being together for a while. But once I crossed that line, like it just wasn't the same. Like I still wanted like my friend, my best friend.
Yeah.
And like I think she was what's April? Aries. Really strong personality,
Mm-hmm.
controlling
Mm-hmm.
insecurities,
Mm-hmm.
and like she just hated me being around people. Like she would try to control it or constrict me or restrict me from doing things or being around people. I hated it.
Yeah.
I hated the way it changed our relationship.
That is the worst part I think about dealing with a person that, and like kind of looking back on it, like I shouldn't have did that, is when you look at the beauty of how you once interacted and then have to accept that it'll never be the same.
Mm-hmm.
It'll never be the same.
Ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
And it's like, I always wonder, like, is it ever possible to go back? But I don't think there's really a going back once you cross certain lines or boundaries.
No. Now I have this one emphasis that my last girlfriend, we was cool since I was like 12 years old.
Yeah.
I can't say I never looked at her like that because I always probably thought like she was gonna be my wife.
Yeah.
But like our relationship before then, it was just kind of like surface level. We didn't really like know each other for real.
Right.
And when we crossed that line, it's like I felt like I got to know her a little better.
Yeah.
Like now, I never really seen emotions out of her. I never really like got to see another side of her. And then she was like, "Oh,
Right.
I think we fucked up our friendship." I was like, "I think it made it better."
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we crossed that line, but like now, I think like you know me now. I know you,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like one situation fucked up our relationship. This one, I think it got us closer as people.
Yeah.
So it can go both ways.
Yeah. And I think, too, it's being able to have those conversations after the fact, too.
Right.
Of, like, you know, is this productive or is this counterproductive? And not everything is always meant to be, like, long-term. You know what I mean?
Very true.
Some things are just seasons and different reasons. Like, even being able to recognize, like, in one situation, like, nah, this shit ain't for us. But the other situation like this made us stronger. People are different in relationships than they are friendships.
Mm-hmm.
But I do agree with the substance of, like you said, having a really solid friendship foundation going into a relationship is very important because, like you said, like sometimes you just want your homie, you know? Like sometimes I want to be able to see the homie and my lover and my friend, you know? Versus it being like, I'm just looking at you like you're in a relationship and I'm holding, because that's one thing I notice even being around men and like when they talk about their old ladies and stuff, like man, I can't talk to her. Or like that's a big thing for me when they talk to me like, man, I can't talk to her. Like, but have you tried? Have you even created a environment where either one of you has tried to be real like that, or did you just automatically cut yourself off before you ever even made that attempt? And 9 times out of 10, it'd be that, or it'd be like you've accustomed yourself to building these boundaries for so long that when you try to have a real conversation, y'all are so accustomed to fucking ego and insecurity, you can't even get past that first, you know?
That's what it is.
That first thought.
It's the things. I think it's the trauma, like just arguing all the time and like going through the fights. It's like now I feel like
Yes.
I can't be open with this person for real. Like, this is my girlfriend, but like that's just my girlfriend.
Yes.
this the person I can't confide in, but like I fight with this girl. So I need somebody else.
I ain't gonna lie, like that's probably like the dude who I was just dating. Like we still cool now and everything, but like that was a thing we had to like grow to understand amongst ourselves. Is like when I met you, you was really my homie. I'm talking about like the first dude in a very long time where I'd be like, man, I can really kick it with you. Like we can go out, we can go, cause you know a strip club or a club is a telltale sign if you're gonna survive around me, really. Like because I ain't gonna lie, like I am a burst of energy. Like when I get in that element, like I love vibing with people. You know what I mean? I'm not no insecure woman, so like I'm going in there kicking it like a nigga, just to put it simple. And that's something that I vocalized to him is like, I don't want that to be the only capacity we can operate like that. You know what I mean? And so like we would go kick it and go out to eat and, you know, just maybe watch some movies or whatever. And we always had that basis. And then like I feel like when we transitioned into creating more of like a permanent kind of dialogue, because I still feel like it was like a relationship with a situationship, because we both still had that drawn back in our mind, like you cannot be committed here. You know what I mean? And I feel like that kind of like tarnished the friendship that we had. You know what I mean? So even now, as I communicate and talk, like I tell them like that's the point you gotta get to with people. Like even if it's beyond me, it's making sure you don't lose that. Because once you got it, it's so rare to find that vibe with a person. And even now, like when I date people or when I talk to them, I ain't gonna lie, I kind of like went on a hiatus. Because it's like, I don't even want to get there with you right now. I don't know if it's like I said, it's part of it is working on me, but another part of it, I ain't gonna lie, just being transparent, is like, I don't want to keep establishing these really, really good, dope vibes and then having it expel itself. So let me just figure out what's going on with me so I don't be the reason why this is happening, or maybe how I change my approach to what I'm doing so this can be successful. Because like I said, that's like one of the worst things, I think, looking back on people who you were once so cool with. Like I could replay memories from me and Brand and be like, damn, we really was kicking it, you know what I mean? And then now like you talk to a person and be like, there's like an awkward space here. You know, it's like an awkward vibe that like I ain't never saw you and awkward as being in the same sentence, really. Like, you know what I mean? That's why I think that platonic relationships are so beneficial, because I think they kind of help you to preserve that in your own relationship too. Like having friends around and knowing how to operate as being like a good friend to a male or a woman, you know, and then being able to take that and kind of remember it. I think if you just surrounded by a bunch of niggas and you have a girlfriend, you kind of lose the insight of like how to be a friend to a woman.
And I think like we don't have enough women around, like in like the term of like I need to see if I still got it.
Yeah.
It's because we ain't getting enough feminine energy. We only getting it from one source. It's like now you get around other women, you kind of timid, or it's like it's different now. Like if you take away that power, we're gonna try to find it. So don't try to take it away from me.
Yeah.
Let me be me. It's like, okay, you can't control what I'm gonna do, because if I'm gonna cheat, I'm gonna cheat.
Yes. I think that is one of the most powerful things I retained from the Lauren London interview that she did with Angela Yee.
I needed to watch that.
I'm telling you, it's very, very powerful. Towards the end, when she talks about how she realized, like, after Nip died, that she was loving him in ego, that is probably one of the most accountable conversations where I, as a viewer, was watching and was like, damn, I gotta stop doing that. Like, where you begin to be around, like I said, the preliminary. It's the butterfly stages. You're getting to know a person, you're operating as being their friend, and then you start to have sex with them or get in a relationship with them, and you start to love them in ego, and your ego creates expectations for them and commitments of them that they probably never agreed to. And then you start to create this resentment because they're not fulfilling you in this way, but the reality is you may not have ever properly communicated, or you might have just created that expectation yourself. So like me, my takeaway from that was like, you gotta allow people to be loved as they are, and not to force people to be who you need them to be or what you desire them to be, because people are the happiest when they can be fluid in their own energy, you know? And like, I would rather love a person as they are and take them as they are than to love a version of them that's temporary. Like, my sister tells me all the time, like, give them 90 days. She says that people come around me and I'm such a positive light and spirit. Like, I'm the type of person you come around and I'll be like, okay, cool. What you got going on in your life? Let me see how I can help you. You know? And a lot of that turns into people aren't used to, like, the genuine nature of that. Like, I really be wanting to see people win. It's not for the benefit of myself. There's a satisfaction that I get as a person by seeing people be happy. Like, I don't know. It's just something that keeps me going type thing. So when people come around me, a lot of times, like, they'll mirror that energy. Like, it's genuine, and then over time you find that it's like you're just mirroring what I'm giving you, which is fine in the beginning. But if it's not genuinely who you are, then we're both fucked. Because eventually you're going to stop playing this role. You're going to get tired. You're going to get tired of being on set, and the real shit going to come out. So that's another part of my, like, being patient and getting to know people too. Is like, you got to give people time. And two, you also have to give, like, I was listening to a relationship podcast about, like, 90 days for people to cut off their shit. Like, even she was talking about, like, with her husband. When she first met him, she was like, I told him, you have 90 days. You have 90 days to cut off the people you're doing, because you can't expect that when you first meet a person to have nothing going on. So instead of it being like, you know what I mean? It's almost kind of like green, to be honest, to expect a person to have nothing going on. Like, even people who be like, I'm not dating or I'm not talking to, like, you're talking to somebody. There's somebody who you're...
It's always somebody.
It's always somebody. And it's unrealistic. It's fine, you know? Like, nobody just wants to sit around and be lonely all the time. Or at least most people. So I kind of had to learn that too. Like, you got to give people time to adequately cut off their shit. And if you might not be the person they want to cut that off for. So you got to give them the room to do that too. Like, you might get the vibing with a person and try to have them start a whole relationship with you. And it's like, that's not even what we're supposed to be doing here. So I think it's important to, like, really evaluate people and what they want and what you want and how that coincides, instead of forcing shit out of people.
90 days.
90 days.
I think that's a good amount of time.
Yeah, like, I ain't gonna lie, like, the people who I've learned to, like, apply, I just started applying the principle, don't get me wrong. But, like, it really does create a viable space for you to be able to, like, not overly commit and not undercommit. It's just like an understanding you have. Like, you're cutting this off, and two, it creates open communication. Like,
right.
Yeah, like, I can be real. Like, you know, I mean, like, when I'm getting off the phone, I'm gonna be like, my mom called me.
Right.
Like, hey, man, you know, so-and-so called me. Like, eventually you're gonna wean that off, but it gives the other person the proper time to, like, really gauge where you're at too. Yeah. So, like, if you keep telling me you're getting off the phone with me for the same person, you might not be as interested in me as I think you are, you know? I think it's just important just to be real and transparent, man.
That's very important, man. But people can't face the truth.
Yes.
And then some people, we just can't tell the truth.
Yeah.
Because we worried about feelings and how this person's going to take it. And it's like, you don't want to lose that person because you're telling the truth. I can't tell you that, well, I got to hang up the phone with you and talk to this other girl.
Yeah. I definitely had to learn that too. Like, I'm definitely very cognizant, and I'm so careful with my words. Like, I'll be trying to, like, say things in a way people could take it. But I learned that sometimes being direct is just the most viable option. Because people will respect you more that way. Versus it being like, you tried to say my feelings here, but you hurt my shit later on down the line. Like, I'd rather just give you the fair opportunity to make a choice. I think when you give people a chance to make a choice, it warrants more long-term respect than trying to preserve something just because it feels good right now. Like, if I can just, I don't know, something about being able to tell a nigga the truth is just so empowering for me. And for him to be able to exemplify that to me is like, he ain't got to lie to me. So then if it ever comes to a point to where you are lying to me, now we have a conversation to have. Yeah. Because we've told the truth before. Like, my last situation, that was definitely the case. Brutally honest. But I respected it so much. I think that's what allowed me to be so fluid in it, was like, damn, we just really keeping it real. You know what I mean? And then when emotions started to get involved, it's like I've noticed that we kind of started to warrant withholding. Not necessarily lying, but withholding shit. And so that was like an accountability conversation we had. Like, shit, that's not what this was ever supposed to be. It was always supposed to be just real. So it's like you got to ask yourself, like, what's making you not be real? Because you say this is what you want. And if you're giving somebody bullshit, you can't expect to not get it back. This is accountability, man.
I'm the most honest I've ever been in my life.
I'm getting there.
I'm the most honest because I don't want to waste nobody's time.
Yes.
And I'm not afraid of losing people.
Yeah.
Especially new people in my life. Like,
that's probably what my problem has been.
I'm honest. Like, I feel like it's the best way. Like, I used to just be a liar, like, just being a nigga. Like, nah, I ain't talking to nobody. Girl, what you talking about? Nah, I ain't fucking nobody.
Right.
Now it's like, you ask me a question, I'm going to give it to you just how it is. And you got to take it how, if you want to deal with this, then deal with it.
I ask people, like, do you want the truth? Or do you want me to say something that's going to make your feelings?
How do you even answer that?
But most people, it makes them redirect, like,
yeah.
It's a pause moment. And it's crazy because people would do that to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd be like, damn, like, I thought it was such an asshole thing. But then I started to realize that there's power in that. Because really think about it. Do you want me to lie to appease your emotions? Because if you're asking me a question like that, you're probably making an assumption or have some type of egotistical shit going on. So really think about it. Are you prepared to handle the truth? If I tell you that I just left such and such house and I came over here to kick it with you, are you still going to feel the same? And I think that those are the most long-lasting situations, honestly, when you can be honest like that.
I wouldn't even mind somebody telling me that, keeping it real.
Hell yeah, because I don't want to find out. I'm the type of person where I would rather find out from you than in the streets.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather, because I'm going to respect you so much more. It gives me a chance to make a choice. Like, you know what? You agreed to participate in that. Like, I told you I just left the shorty house.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you agreed to participate in that, so don't bring it up later.
Here's the thing, though. It used to be the guys that used to just be liars. Now it's like
The women.
women are just top-notch, like, just...
I ain't gonna lie, I definitely was like a withholder. Like, I had to really be held accountable for that. Because I was so used to talking to people who wanted bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to realize, like, when you enter into a certain season of your life where you're trying to, like, attract higher energy and manifest bigger things, like, part of that is being real on every level. And you got to be able to be honest. You got to be able to tell the truth and take the truth. Mm-hmm. And so I had to learn, like, withholding is definitely lying. Accountability, 101 to self. Withholding is lying. Just because you think a person can't handle the truth doesn't mean that they don't deserve it. And so I only want to operate in spaces with people who can handle the truth now. It's not any judgment, but on an emotional level, I'm not even going to make myself emotionally in relationship available to you if we can't be honest. Because I get tired of niggas lying. I don't even like trying to conjure up a story. Like, I'm so beyond, I don't know. Like, I'm so beyond that point of, like, even thinking about that type of shit. Like, it's just a waste of energy to me when I know there's at least 5 people I can count on one hand I can just go be real with.
Right.
I'd rather be with myself.
I would sometimes take a girl phone and act like I'm going through it, see, like, how they react.
Mm-hmm.
And, it, like, I done seen some women, like, just go crazy.
Yeah.
Like, go ballistic.
See, I've never been through a man's
Like, what's the issue? Like, what you really got to hide, for real?
Yeah.
I can't ever go through someone's phone.
Yeah. How do you feel about that? Like a man going through a woman's phone. Like, do you feel like it'd be, I mean, either or, though.
That's someone's privacy.
Yes.
Okay. You just can't just invade someone's privacy. I just don't agree with that.
I just feel like, and this may be naive, but I feel like if you take yourself to that point to where you're going to go through somebody's phone, you're going to find what you're looking for.
You're definitely going to find what you're looking for.
So it's like...
Because any little thing is going to trigger. Oh.
And then think about it. Now, ego is involved. So now I'm going through your phone, unless I'm doing it in silence. But now I'm going through your phone, and you know I'm going through your phone, so I got to come out with something. Because now I done just made this ego look like a damn dummy.
Right.
So that's why I never wanted to do it. Because I'm like, first of all, I want to be able to trust you enough to know, even if, because everybody's not always going to be 100%. Might be hard for you to tell the truth. Even if you tell a little white lie in the beginning. I want to know at some point you're going to be honest. You respect me enough to be honest. Versus, like, I got to go play Inspector Gadget. Like, I'm not trying to do all that.
Me neither. But it's like, damn, but like, what's really in that phone?
Yeah. Yes.
What's really in it? Because people, they're liars. People are just lying and putting up this facade and saying what you want to hear. Mm-hmm. What's really in that phone? Like, what's the real you? Because the real you is in that phone.
Yeah.
Everything is right there.
See, and that's the part is it's like, damn near curiosity will kill the cat.
Mm-hmm.
Cause like, damn, once I find out who you really are in this phone, am I gonna feel the same way? Like, am I gonna think and respect you the same way once I get? So for me, I just am not. I'm glutton for punishment for me to be accountable for shit, but I'm not glutton for punishment when it comes to shit like that. I be like, I just rather let. Probably sound crazy. I'd rather let the universe show me. Mm-hmm. And every time I ain't gonna lie, I've never been through anybody's phone. Anything I've ever supposed to know or I feel like I'm supposed to know, I've always found out. Some way, shape, or form, it'll come. Mm-hmm. And whether it be a person telling on themselves or people mistakenly saying things and, you know, I'm not realizing that I'm not aware of certain stuff, you know. But I think everybody deserves to have a little piece of privacy to themselves.
How do you feel about testing people's loyalty?
Testing people's loyalty?
Mm-hmm. Putting people through like tests, not just because I made the post and some people took it negative.
Yeah.
And what I was trying to explain was people are not who they say they are. Mm-hmm. You know, like, and you have to go through certain things, or life will give you tests. Mm-hmm. But it's some tests that you can give people to see if they are who they say they are. And like I gave the example was, okay, you had this nigga, you didn't know who he really was, you didn't have a baby by this nigga, and he fed you all these lies, and now he left you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, now he a deadbeat, don't know where the fuck this nigga at. Or you got with a nigga and he beat on you. Yeah. It was all peaches and cream in the beginning, but now this nigga turned on you. Yeah. So like, you just don't know people. Yeah. And people are like, well, no, I just let God tell me. God.
Yeah. The reality is that you gotta allow people the room to be themselves. I think that testing people is not wrong. I don't think that you should test people to a point that you become a professor and not a person. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, give yourself enough room to take heat. And I think, too, sometimes, like, subtly testing people is more important than, like, trying to critique them after the fact. Mm-hmm. Like, man, I did X, Y, Z. It's like, you know, keep your cards to yourself sometimes. I think that testing people is a natural part of securing ourselves. But I don't feel like you should get hell bent on it. I think you should let people be who they're going to be and make sure that you're not so emotionally driven that you can't take heed to the signs. Because sometimes we be hindering ourselves. Mm-hmm. Like, I definitely know I do it. I see the best in people, and I'm making an effort to do so. Mm-hmm. And so doing that sometimes, like, you might see, like, red flags and warning signs, as they would call it, and then, like, I'll bypass it. Because I believe everybody can get better at shit, but a part of, like, my own self-sabotaging has been, like, overly investing in the potential of a person instead of where they're at. So I think part of the testing phase is important because you can get an idea of where people really are at.
I think at the age of 30, you are who you are.
Yeah.
Around 28, you are who you are.
Yeah.
The potential maybe become successful, but you are.
Yeah.
It is embedded in you. This is who you are as a person.
Yeah.
And some things you just can't change.
Yes. That's another part. That is a very, very hard, like, it's simple, but it's a very hard pill to swallow for a lot of people, myself included. I told you, I'm like a fixer. So part of me learning to keep from breaking myself is that you can't fix everybody. Some people aren't meant for you to fix. Like, I have this analogy where it's like, some people, you're meant to plant seeds, right? And then you walk away. And life and circumstance after you waters them. Some people, you plant seeds and you water them. But you're still not afforded the opportunity to see them blossom. You're just supposed to water the crop and then move on from it and, you know, let it be maintained from there. But there's other people who, and these are like lifelong, partnerships and friendships and stuff that you have where you can plant the seeds. You get the opportunity to water them, but then you're afforded the opportunity to really see them blossom and see, you know, what some would consider to be the fruits of your labor. And I think it's very important to learn to categorize people as to what are you supposed to do in this season of their life or your life, you know? And it applies on a vice versa level. Like, some people are only meant to plant seeds in your life. They're not supposed to sit around and water them, you know, and so on and so forth. So I think being able to be accountable for where you're at and where a person is at whenever you're dealing with them is important instead of falling in love or investing in the potential of where you want a person to be, because there can be a lot of ego involved in it. And it can become selfish. whenever you deal with people, it should be selfish enough to where you preserve yourself and your boundaries, but it should be selfless enough to where you allow them the room to be their selves. You don't ever want a person to be confined to whatever your idea or expectation is, because they're never going to feel genuine in that space. Like you said, when people control you, I can't stand when people get in relationships and try to control me. I tell every man all the time, like, I feel like a woman will naturally submit. Mm-hmm. Any woman who I know that is in a healthy relationship, it's natural submission. And I know I'm capable of doing so too. Where I find that I have like conflict in situations is where people, they see who I am, come around, oh, big energy, you know what I mean, one of the bros, and then come around and they try to confine that and conform that into what they feel like I should be. And I've learned from being on either the end of trying to do that to people or being on the end of where people are trying to do that to me, it never ends well. It's never genuine. You can't change people, and like you said, people are going to do what they're going to do, man. They're going to be who they're supposed to be. Everybody's path and journey is written, man. And it's not our responsibility to write the chapters out of everybody else's book. We're only responsible for our own.
When you say written, are you saying that as like your life is set in stone?
I feel like there is a general, what would you say, like structure of who we all are. Like, and that's on a spiritual level. Like, I feel like how we get there is determined by our choices. But for me personally, I feel that where we start and where we end is written. I feel like how quickly we get there, what path we take is all in our jurisdiction. And that's where the faith without works part comes in. It's like, I can know that I'm destined to be great. But unless I do the things that are necessary and learn the lessons of life that are pivotal to become great, I might not get there.
So how's it written? Because if it's going to have the same ending and I don't put the work in, or I don't choose the path that is supposed to take me there, mm-hmm. How is it written? Or do they have two in the stories?
It's like, for me, when I think about it being written, it's almost like a book that you get from the library and you decide if you're going to read it all the way through to the end. Like, are you going to make it to the last page? You can read the back of the book and get an idea of where it's going. And mm-hmm. for me, that's what people start off in. Like, I can have a day like, man, Kayla, you're really good at therapy, right? But if you never do the work for you to make that a thing, like, mm-hmm. you're probably not going to make it to the end chapter. So for me, it can be different endings, you know? Like, I feel like sometimes we might jump to a whole different book. But either way, however we are supposed to be in life and, like, us as people, like, I feel like the basics are written. I think the details is the part that we fill in. And I think that that's the part that's where it's like the blank pages in the book. You know what I mean? I think there's room for adjustments. That's I guess maybe that's just like a peace thing I do for myself, though. It's like understanding, like, I'm meant to be great, but I'm giving myself the grace for the times where I may jump off the page. You know what I mean? Or I may stop reading what's scripted for me and, you know what I mean, get a little off track. So I guess that's the part where I leave room for error. Because as humans, I feel like we adjust.
Adapt, adjust.
Mm-hmm. 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 But I don't know if I believe, like, I used to kind of been more like, whatever's supposed to be, it's going to be. Like, that's it. I feel like it's a good mantra, but I feel like it's deeper than we make it. You know what I mean? Like, we all have the potential to be whatever it is we manifest and speak into life. How we get there is the big part. How much time do you spend doing the things that aren't affording you the opportunity to get to the end of the chapter? How much time do you spend not reading your own shit and looking at everybody else's, you know?
I feel like we write our own book.
Yeah.
As we're going through life, we're writing it. And we can create any story that we want. And life hits you and, you know, creates its own story.
Yeah.
For you. And then like now you have to make a choice, make a decision. Like, okay, where do I want to take this?
Yeah.
How do I change this chapter? How do I change the story, the trajectory? How do I make it to where like I want it?
Yeah. So maybe it's that the beginning is written and we construct how we get to the end.
Mm-hmm.
More like that. I can agree with that.
Because this book could end today, you
Yeah.
know, or it could end 20 chapters from now, 30
Facts.
chapters from now. And sometimes, I mean, well, you can't determine, you know, because life just hits you and it's just, I'm dead.
Yeah, right.
Right. So, I don't know, like, because there's certain, like, decisions I made in life, like, where I know, like, if I didn't make those decisions, I wouldn't be right here.
Yeah.
Where would I be if I never went to prison?
Yeah.
Where would I be if I had a child?
Mm-hmm.
Because I could make a choice to have a child right now, and I have a whole different life. If I had a child at 16 years old, I'd be a whole different person. If I went to the Air Force, I'd be a whole different nigga.
Yeah.
Maybe I wouldn't be living this life of crime that I was living, and now I'd have been this. Who knows?
I think about that too sometimes. Like, I was a nerd in school, so like there's so many. Like, I was supposed to go to the Army National Guard. Boom, went to basic. I just was like, you know, this is the thing to do. Like, I'm trying to structure my life. I went to college my junior year, my senior year. Like, I just knew I was going to go to the Army. Really, I wanted to be paper school. So then when I got into it, like, I don't know, morally, it just wasn't for me. Like, nothing against it. I respect everyone who serves. It just wasn't for me. And so I ended up getting an honorable discharge. So I found out I had fibromyalgia, which is like arthritis, but it's stress-induced. So at the time, like when I was getting ready to leave, I know my shit was flaring up because I was like, this is the first time I'm ever living my siblings and my mama by themselves. Like, everybody needs me, is how I felt. Mm-hmm. And everybody was vocalizing that to me, so it was like more pressure. Like, y'all want me to go be great, but y'all are really afraid of doing this without me. And so it kind of created like an anxiety, you know? So long story short, when I ended up like reconstructing that path, I ended up finding out I had like a 4-year full ride to school and everything, and my mom had never given me the letter, and so I missed out on the deadline like for all my scholarships and stuff. But like I always go back to, I'm like, damn, what if I would have went that route? Like, how different would my life be? But I can't say it's like I feel like it would be better or it would be worse. I think it's just like a curious thing of like, if I was afforded the opportunity, almost like some like supernatural shit. If I was afforded the opportunity to just like get a glimpse of what life would be like going down that path, like how would I feel about where I'm at right now? Like, would I feel like I made the right decision, or I should have done something differently, or was this all a part of who I was supposed to be all along? I think that's the question that I ask myself. So even going to school and everything, I'm like, you know, people get degrees and don't do nothing with them. Like, I definitely have a degree in accounting. I use it just because, I mean, everything we do is with money. But I'm like, what if I really would have went and, like, I wanted to be an anesthesiologist. Like, what if I would have spent my time trying to be a doctor? Like, would I even have a kid right now? Like what life would I be living? Would I be sitting here talking to you? Like,
What I do is, well, have done, like I would have these images in my head of like me as like my higher self.
Yeah.
And this was like a lot in prison because I had a lot of time to think.
Yeah.
And smoke weed and just visualize like who I want to be. Who is this person?
Yeah.
What is he doing? What he looks like? And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get out and be that person.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I'm all the way there, but me trying to live up to that image in my head, that person, like when it comes to like success, like weight, everything, like the way I dress, like that picture in my head, like if I could fast forward 3-4 years from now, who is this person? Who is this nigga?
What made you decide that that's the person you wanted to be? Like, what about it was appealing to you?
Because it's everything that I want to be.
Yeah.
It's who I really want to be. It's if I was to do everything right in life,
Yeah.
This is him.
Yeah.
If I didn't have any type of insecurities, if I was like the most confident person,
This is who I would be.
this is who I would be.
Period. So do you feel like when you were manifesting this and like, you know, in prison, do you feel like you were at a point to where you feel like this is not who I'm supposed to be? And that's what led you to conjure up, okay, so who is this? So what was it?
Me being in prison was just something I had to go through.
Mm-hmm.
It was just something I had to go through in life to get to that point.
Right.
Because prison really made me a man. Like,
yeah.
It just made me. I was moving so fast in life. I never just had time to just sit and think of like what I really wanted to be for real. Like,
yeah.
What was my real goals? It was just getting money. Let me get rich. Not having an end goal, not knowing like what the fuck do I really want to do with my life? What am I gonna do with all this money?
Yeah.
But sitting in prison, being around men, young men, older guys, it helped me kind of like fine tune myself.
Yeah.
Like hearing other people's stories, like, okay.
Who do you feel like when you were in prison talking to people, who do you feel like was the most impactful? Do you feel like it was the people who had the chance to get out or the people who were stuck?
People that was stuck.
Yeah.
The people that repeated the cycle. That just couldn't get right. Like, oh yeah, this is my second, third bid. And I don't judge them, but it's like, damn, I can't be one of them. Somebody that just can't get right. Yeah. Somebody that just can't get life right. Somebody that's sitting here wasting time because of the choices they made in life. It's like, I got a choice. I can get out here. One nigga told me, he's like, how old you is? I was like, shit, I'm 28. He's like, oh, you got another bid on you. I looked at that nigga like,
what?
I said, no, the fuck I don't. He's like, bro, you too young. He's like, you ain't gonna get it. And that shit always stuck with me, like, nah.
Well, see, them be the pivotal moments in conversations that make you self-check so hard. It's like, I never let you be right.
You feel me? I never come back to this motherfucker like,
never let
I told you
right.
so. Hell nah.
Those have been some of the most life-changing conversations with me. Like, those are like my aha moments. Where somebody said something to you, you be like, I don't even understand how you gather that with me as a person, but just because you can even configure that in your mind or let that come out your mouth, I gotta make sure I'm not living like that.
Facts.
That should be life-changing, man.
Even I told people in prison, like the goals that I had for myself, like what I was trying to do, and they couldn't see it. They would just be like, what you talking about, bro?
That is some of the most powerful, self-checking, though, to be in a space to where you see a vision for something that nobody else can see. Because it's, uncomfortable because I got to really bank on myself. But it's encouraging, too, because it's like, damn, I got something nobody knows about. I'm doing something that don't none of y'all believe in me, but, I'm going to get there.
But I had to realize, people, they're just small-minded.
Yeah.
They from small towns. They not from, they don't know anything is possible in life.
Right.
You only know what you know.
Yep.
And it's I never tried to be that person. You watch Power?
Yeah.
It was a scene, right, when Ghost went to jail. And he was trying to hide who he was.
Oh, yeah.
He was trying to hide who
he didn't want nobody to know he was Ghost.
Right. He didn't want nobody to know. And that's how I felt in prison. I don't really had to come in here and prove who I am for real. I know who I am for real. I know, how much money I got. I know who I am as a person. It was just so many people in prison trying to prove themselves, trying to be the flyest nigga in prison. Trying to be the nigga that's, trying to feed everybody. I'm trying to be the same nigga I was on the streets. I would do it, real subtle. I didn't really have to, show this person. Because I know who I am as a person. I know, people gravitate towards me. Yeah. And if I open up that door, I'm going to have, a plethora of friends, people that want to. I'm just a nice person. I give.
Yeah.
I find myself motherfucking buying niggas commissary and shit. I was like, what the fuck am I doing this motherfucker? I don't even know these niggas. Right. Let me chill. Let me stop making fucking friends.
Yeah.
But I just seen so many people in prison just trying to live up to their name.
And it's crazy because for me, in like how you approached it is the way that I feel like people should to avoid repeating the cycle. Like I feel like if you get into the space of being in prison and you carry on the same way as you go on the street, you never really decipher the difference. Mm-hmm. Like keeping up, I feel like that's street shit. That shit you do on the outside. Like if you on the inside, you should be figuring out or constricting how am I going to keep myself out of here.
This is jail. Like,
yes,
I lived below my means. I walked around like not giving a fuck. I ain't had to get a haircut. Niggas was getting haircuts every week. Like, what y'all niggas looking nice, pretty for?
Yeah.
I ain't give a fuck. I ain't shaved my head. I ain't give a damn, for real. Yeah. This is prison. I'm in fucking solitary.
Yeah. It's almost like, I don't know if it's how people feel, but it's like, are you proud to be in here?
Right.
Like, when you showing off and stuff, like, I can't speak for anybody. I've never been in prison, but it's like, I wonder what the mindset is. Like, is it just something to do to make you feel normal on the inside?
Right.
Or is it like a genuine, like, I'm so pressed to keep up with this image that I can't let it go, but the image may have been exactly what got you here in the first place.
Some of it was like not trying to lose yourself because they strip so much of you. Everybody looks the same. We all wearing the same shit and trying to like stand out or just because you'll lose yourself in that motherfucker.
Yeah.
But I was so motherfucking strong. I didn't need that. Like, I knew who I was for real. Like,
yeah.
I walk around like not giving a fuck, wrinkled pants, and man, this is jail, bro. This is prison.
This is not a fashion show.
Motherfucking prison, bro.
Yeah.
This is prison. I ain't need none of that shit, man. But I needed that. I needed to go through that.
Yeah.
Like, I had to go through that phase in life to get me where I'm trying to get to.
So, looking at it, what is the most viable thing that you took from that experience that you apply to where you're at now?
Time is precious.
Mm.
Time is the only thing that we have, and we can waste this motherfucking time.
Man, it's the one thing you can't recreate.
No.
It's a moment in time.
Can't buy this shit.
Man.
You can get all the money, but you cannot buy time.
You cannot buy time.
Now you can create more time for yourself, but you can't get that shit back. And I don't want to lose any more time.
Yeah.
I can't go sit there and do another 5 years. All the fucking moments I missed out on life, I can't do it. I can't do it. Time. Sitting there and waiting for time to go by. Some people just sat there and wasted time. Some people just sat there and got high. I made sure like I didn't just lose time. Okay, yeah, I wasn't outside, but this time that I got to myself, I'm gonna use it very wisely.
Yes.
Let me read as much as I can. Let me work out as much as I can. Let me recreate myself while I'm in this motherfucker.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that overall, it's important to be able to do that in life, though. Like, being able to accept that you can't control every aspect of your life. What you can control is how you make use of your time, though. The people you invite into your space, the words that you exchange, the moments that you spend, like, I feel like as long as when I die, I can settle in knowing I lived a productive life on whatever that basis is, as long as I know that the moments that I spent, they were meaningful to me. Whatever suited my purpose or what made me happy, like, as long as I can find peace with that, I think that's when you live a fulfilled life. It's not always about, granted, we want to do great things. We're going to do great things. It's not always about those moments, though. It's really about the exchanges you have, like, in those moments in time with people. Like, what type of impact did you make by having a conversation? What type of grace did you give, you know what I mean, to yourself when you couldn't control anything? Like, what did you do with that? Did you fall down, you know what I mean, or did you stand up and make something different of it? Even you saying, like, shit, yeah, I'm sitting here waiting on this time to pass, but I'm going to make it count as much as I possibly can. Not going to drive myself crazy that I'm behind this wall, but I'm going to do what I can behind this wall until I'm not behind this wall no more. And I think that that's a mindset thing that is a key component to being successful, really. It's like, what am I going to do with the control that I do have? Because I can't control everything. But with what I can control, like, how am I going to make it useful?
Once you realize, like, the clock is ticking. And everybody got their expiration date. Like, so what can you do in between these moments?
Yeah.
Like, how many lives can you change? Like, how many people can you impact? What can I do in this life to be remembered?
I think for me as a person, like, one of my biggest things is I don't want to be temporary. I want to be legendary. So whatever legacy that I leave behind, I just want it to be impactful. Whether it be breaking the generational cycle for my children, you know what I mean? Or for the children's children, like, for me, it's that legendary impact of standing the test of time. I feel like that's what makes you legendary. I don't want to be a temporary phase of, like, you know what I mean? Like, one generation remembers me. I want to carry on through that. And not just for my family, but for the people who I'm able to encounter throughout my lifetime, like, to impact them on that level. I feel like that's what makes you a legend. I want to be a person that when you sit and you have a conversation, it doesn't even have to be a mentioning of accolades. It can simply just be a mentioning of impact. Like, damn, this person was really solid. This is a good person. I have, like, my sister, it's not really my sister, but it's my sister. Her mom's best friend passed. And they showed me, like, the video of her at her funeral. And I'm talking about every person who got up there had nothing but phenomenal things to say. It was everyone down to 4 or 5-year-old kids on the video talking about how much they loved her and how she had made an impact just by, like, being a grandma to them. You know what I mean? And the parents is like, man, she really helped me be a better mom or a better dad. Like, that's the type of shit I want people to say about me when I die. Like, I don't want it to be, oh, she won this award and she had this building and she had this much money. Like, I feel like impact is it can be so legendary because you can really conform an entire generation, like, by changing their mindset. You could be that one ray of light in years prior of dark that just changes the whole trajectory. Like, I even know now with my brothers and sisters and stuff, I'll be showing them shit that they never thought we would see. And it's on a light scale. I always say I'm only at 15%, man. I still got a long way to go, but for me, that's the shit I'm working towards. It's like, how are we gonna make this legendary?
That's how I want to be remembered.
Man, I think it speaks to how you lived your life, honestly. Like, how will you be remembered? I don't know what it was about that video, though, man, but it, like, really touched my spirit because it was like, wow, like, I guess it was probably the first person I had ever seen that had died to where it was, like, so positive. Like, people were really, really, truly impacted, and it was like, even in the midst of, like, all the crying and shit that comes with death, like, they were just all so positively impacted. Like, they had so many good memories of her. And I just thought that was dope. I'm like, damn, like, this is how I want to go out. Like, I want everybody to be, look, I'm sad as fuck she's gone. But look, we had a hell of a time while she was here.
That's going to be me.
Man, I'm telling you. Like, I feel like that's just the way to go out, man. You can't control every aspect. You can't be, like, none of us are perfect. But to be legendary, like, that shit don't ever go nowhere.
Be here forever.
Hell yeah.
Man, that's crazy.
Yeah, you definitely legendary. You have legendary stature about you. I'm excited to see where, on a whole nother tip, I'm excited to see where your platform grows.
I don't know where it's going to go.
I don't know either, but even the time that I've been watching it and been exposed to it, like, I mean, obviously it's grown substantially too, but I think that you're so versatile with the types of conversations that you're having. Just make sure you continue on that path. Because the conversations that you're having, you're only going to expand your audience as you keep it versatile. Like, just don't ever confine yourself to a box. Because I think that, like, some of the shit I be watching, it just be so dope. It's like you never know what to expect. And I think that people, when I watch, like, even with me, That's why I say, like, if I don't have nothing to say on live, I'm not going to get on live. I got to make sure I live life a little bit. And I think you have so much experience behind you, like, from being behind the wall to just living life just outside of it. Like, it gives people a different perspective. And it's like a ray of hope, man. Especially for men who have been through similar experiences, or like you said, like, people who feel like they're a part of the cycle now because they've been in jail one time. To be like, bro, you ain't got to do that. You might have been 2-3 times, but you ain't got to make it a 4th, you know? I'm just excited to see where the platform goes. I do feel like you're going to begin to be more impactful with people who are behind the wall. It's just a family.
That's what I really want.
Yeah.
Like, I really want to be in the prisons. Like, I want people to watch this shit.
Yes.
But I don't.
You would be like a person who I could see doing, like, you know how they had people come in and, like, do, like, groups and shit like that? Yeah, I could see you doing that. I could definitely see you doing that. Or, like, being, like, a big speaker overall for, like, prison guards and shit like that. Like, coaching and counseling for understanding, like, how to deal with inmates and shit like that. I could see that.
That's on the way. I see myself being a motivational speaker, like, helping just a lot of people.
Yeah.
Because podcasting is cool, like, but it's not just my peak. It's not what I'm gonna just peak out at.
I feel like this is a good starting point. I feel like you're a get in the field person, though. You like a person like Eric Thomas or something, where you be going off and doing, like, getting out there with the people, you know what I mean? Making yourself available. But I see you doing that behind the wall, though. I think that, like, even hearing you kind of recount the mentality thing is rare. Because I talk to so many people who have been behind the wall, and, like, they talk like this when they get out. But they may have spent 6, 7, 8, 9 years not thinking like that. So being able to acquire that while you're on the inside and then kind of, like, make the impact when you come out, I feel like it kind of sets you ahead of the game. So like you said, just sitting back, like, wasting the time. I'm excited. I'm excited to see where it goes.
I have no idea where it's gonna take me, but sometimes I'll be thinking, like, okay, maybe what if nothing ever happens?
Yeah.
Like, what if, I don't know.
But that's not even the power of your manifestation. Like you said, everything that you've been speaking has been coming to pass. So
Everything.
as you do it, though, you said it's something you want to do, though. Like, get in the prisons and stuff, so just speak it. And the thing about it is you do have a platform that's growing. It's like you'll captivate the attention of somebody who's on the inside, even if you start here locally. Yeah, that was on another tangent, but I definitely wanted you to know that. Because I was just thinking about that while you talking about the prison stuff. Like, that would be really dope. It's probably a very underserved market, too, where it's like, I think there's a desire to conform and, like, conspire to help create, like, a positive construct for people who go to prison. I also feel like there's an even deeper level of, like, hopelessness, like, once you go there. So I think it's powerful to have people who have been behind the wall come in and tell you, like, hey, bro, it's bigger than this. Than a person who has never experienced it telling you, like, hey, man, you gotta live your life the right way.
Right.
Like, come on, bro, there's no substance in that, you know? That's why I feel like it would be powerful of, like, because not only did you get out, you did what you said you was going to do, and you continuing to do it. That type of consistency is rare. Think about it. Bro said, you got another bit in you. So, like, imagine how many people probably hear that and then they adhere to that mindset. Like, bro, if I end up back here twice, at least it is 3 times. Like, come on, man. It's got to be bigger than that.
Man, that shit fucked me up when I heard that. Because that was his second or third bid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, some people will project on you, though. Projection is so heavy. Like, if you allow people to confine you to what they believe,
Right.
that shit can be detrimental sometimes. I had to learn that, too. Like you said, knowing who you are is so important when you're dealing with anybody on any level. Because it's like, you can allow a person to tell you what's for them.
they would say, man, you're not gonna be famous, and I would tell them like, yo, the brand is gonna be called Finesse's Only Club. Like, bro, you going back to jail? Like, how you gonna be out here talking about?
Damn.
Yeah, like one of my homies right now, like he was like, bro, I remember telling you that.
Like, I'm happy you didn't listen to me at this point.
I couldn't listen to nobody. I had it. I'm like, man, I was joking about it, like, man, y'all nigga. I would laugh about it, but deep down inside, like, bro, I'm dead serious.
Yeah.
No, nigga, this is what I'm finna do.
Yeah.
Not knowing like I was gonna do a podcast and shit like that, but that is the brand, Finesse's Only, and
Yeah.
they was like rich and unemployed, nigga. What? Especially like when the unemployment fraud was going on, like, bro, you gonna be talking about that? Like, that's.
But the thing about it is you got their attention, and then you kept it, and that's how you know it has substance. Anybody can come up with a trend nowadays. Everybody's looking for the next trend, but to be a movement, totally different. It sets you in a whole different category. That's why I saw a time like I said, just being legendary instead of temporary, man. Like, I just want to make sure the things I'm doing are substantial enough to move things instead of just being temporary infatuations that people have.
Yeah.
You know? Trendy is cool for other people. I don't want to be a trend. Like, it's so temporary. That's really what it is.
It's gonna die down. They gonna forget.
Yep.
You gotta remember this shit. You gotta feel this shit.
Hell yeah.
You gotta feel
this shit, man.
You gotta feel me. And I don't even know how many people I be touching. Like, I don't know, like, I don't understand, like, how impactful I am to people. Because some people, like, when they see me, I feel the energy. It's like,
yeah,
I did something to them. I did something for them.
Yes. I ain't gonna lie, like, I've had days where, like, I be so worn out from doing what I'm supposed to do. That it was like, when you enter into that stage of rest, and it's like somehow the universe always send me, like, the messages from people who will DM me, like, man, like, when you gonna do another live? You know what I mean? Like, or, man, I was watching one of your videos, and it'd be, like, random people. Some people I've never even interacted with, and I always take them as reminders that it's bigger than you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a bigger movement involved here versus it being like, I'm doing this for shits and giggles. It's a purpose here. Shit like that keeps me encouraged to keep going after the fact. Like, yeah, you tired, but take your little day of rest and then come back strong.
Listen, it be days in here like when I do like my late night specials, and I be like, man, I don't feel like doing this shit.
Yeah.
And I force myself to do it, and the episodes that I think that I ain't even gonna do, I don't even think I be talking about shit for real. Like the last episode I did last week, like I did not feel like doing it, and I didn't really feel like I was giving a good message. But the response I got from it, like, bro, this is probably like the best one you ever did, and I just never know which one is gonna be it. But it's like I know people got to hear something.
Yeah.
Let me go in here and pour my fucking soul out.
Yeah.
But every time I feel like that, every time I feel like I don't want to do this shit,
that's when it be the best.
It'd be the best.
You wanna know why? Because it's the most real and raw. You're doing it without any expectation of it being great. You're just doing it because it's a part of your process. And 9 times out of 10, that's when people need encouragement the most. They don't need it when they got a burst of energy. You know what I mean? You need it when you like, damn, how am I gonna get up and do this shit today? You know what I mean? I ain't gonna lie, like, I done been down and out, and some of my most powerful lives be like, bro, I just found the inspiration 5 minutes before I got on this live for me to even get on here and talk to y'all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Everything I'm saying and speaking is things I've been praying and meditating to get clarity on, you know what I mean? So that's why I think I love your platform, is because from a person who operates under that same level, it's like, you can recognize that shit. Like, it's genuine. It's genuine. It's not, I'm just trying to get on here and post content. I just happen to have it. Yeah. That's a totally different spot. I can always tell when people force it, man. And people appreciate, and other people too, like your viewers and stuff, they can see that shit, man. People want to know it's real, even though it's a fake world in social media most times. So that's what makes you an outlier, though. People feel that real raw. I ain't gonna lie, I've been seeing so many people repost that last one. I've been seeing so many people repost that last one, and it be people who don't even tag you just on my timeline. I'd be like, yep. But that's how you know, though.
The one don't save hoes?
Yeah. That shit been everywhere. I'm talking about everybody's been posting it, like, and I'd be like, it's so crazy because you can just see the growth, you know?
Mm-hmm.
You can see the growth. And then, too, like, sometimes people just want people to say the shit they're too scared to say.
Mm-hmm.
So even when I seen the title, I said, yep, here, he's got one.
Even like sometimes when I even make like when I be listening, I be like, man, some people just gonna tune me out. Or like, I don't know what I be thinking. Like when I'm creating a caption like don't say these hoes or don't save hoes.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I am a fool, but it got to be said. I have like this got to be said.
Fact.
And it's not in a negative way. Like I'm not saying like these hoe like every woman is a hoe. I'm just this is a real message. Like
Yeah. The thing about it is everything isn't for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And when you start creating content and understanding that, it takes more pressure off you when you realize that. Every person who clicks on and scrolls past this video, it's not going to agree with what I say. And that's okay.
Right. That's okay.
You got a right to your freedom of speech just like I got mine. I'm going to say it in a respectful manner that's respectable to I'm going to get my point across.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And if you so choose to not be in agreement with the things I'm saying, or you don't think that, I think people got to stop looking for right and wrong. And they just have to start accepting that if the shoe fits, wear it.
Yep.
Shoe don't fit, don't put that motherfucker on.
Mm-hmm.
You don't got to wear it. And I think once I started operating, people used to try to pressure, man, you got to go live every day. You got to do it. No, I don't. If I don't have nothing to say that's of substance or substantial to me, I'm not going to say it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to get on here just to get some views and have people say I'm on social media. When they get on here, I want them to be excited to get on my live.
Mm-hmm.
Like, damn, Shawty talking about something. She just ain't saying the same shit over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, it's some substance here.
I gotta feel this shit.
Man.
Big energy.
Hello.
Whew. Great conversation.
Great conversation. For sure. I just want you to let me be a part of your prison reform that you about to start. So, just letting you know, I'm on board.
For sure then.
I'm on board. I've definitely taken that away from this conversation. You would definitely be good to talk to people behind the wall.
I think I'm gonna start off with the kids.
Yeah.
So I used to be one of them kids, in and out juvenile.
That would be very dope.
Yeah, I used to be one of them kids.
That would be very dope. Like, because that's where that mentality of, like, being stuck starts.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
There's some people that just never got out that cycle.
Yep.
I don't know what made me, like, I'm just, maybe just being Haitian, I always just felt like I was different.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, me, and I'm observing people, like, people just don't give a fuck. Like, they in and out this bitch for real. It's like, I was in and out too, but I finally made the decision, like, bro, I can't keep doing this shit.
I feel like at a certain point, it's like with anything else that's habitual, it becomes normal.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's why juveniles would be such a great place to start, because you kind of starting at the beginning of the food chain. You know what I mean? Before you start developing the habit of creating this normalcy, this might be your first bid, but it's not really a bid. You know what I mean? Like, you still serving time, but it's a lot more leniency that goes into a juvenile than it is an adult. Shit only gets realer over time. And the more times you go back, you're putting that mark on yourself. Ain't no reform here. And that's the part that, if I could aid and abet anything with that cycle, I would love to do, to just create that silver lining of, like, this ain't the end all be all. Everybody deserves a chance to fuck up, I feel like. How severe it is, this depends on the person and the situation, but I don't feel like a fuck up should make you stuck.
Fuck up shouldn't make you stuck.
At all. Fuck up should not make you stuck, ever.
Let me end it. All right, so I don't know if anybody just stayed to the end of this, but good 2 hours. Man, I appreciate you. It's been a really dope conversation. I got so much out of it.
Yeah.
I think I understand you, like, as a person, as a woman.
Yes. I'm very hopeful for you. Like, I don't know. Like, having the conversation, like, I just started seeing so much that you can do on an impact level. So I think that's what I'm the most gainful in outside of my own personal development. But on a grander scale for the platform, I'm excited to see what you get ready to do. Because sitting here talking to you, I'm like, man, you can change some people's lives.
Thank you. That gave me some power. Gave me big energy.
Big energy.
Thank y'all for tapping in. I'm going to leave her Instagram in the description. Until we meet again.
Yes. Big things to come. Big things.
Number one podcast in the world.
Hello.
And I say that with confidence. Whew. Nah, that was a good 2 hours for sure.
Hell yeah.
2 and some change.
Look, you're going to do big shit. And I'm very excited for
Mm.
I think that your mystery is very intriguing to the point to where now that I'm standing in I'm like, pretty dope.
Thank you.
It's pretty dope.
Likewise.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate you having me.
You're more than just a pretty face.
Thank you. I needed to get out of this too, so I kind of been in a space where I ain't been doing too much of this, so this is like a